Hello, people. I have no idea if anyone's here, but that's okay, because I am like, I'm out of it, so today's a chill day. That's totally cool. But yeah, I don't know what I'm doing, if I had to be honest. But yeah, I know that in the world of currently everyone's doing Deltarune, and I'm doing something completely different. But that's okay. Hello, about to ride a shiny less 15 minutes, have fun. Hello, Maxie. Hello, enjoy yourself. Have a good one, okay? Enjoy. Good boy. No, I have no idea what I'm doing. I have no idea what I'm doing. But that's okay. That's okay. I'm here to have fun, and that's what was promised. I know I technically put on my schedule, drawing, and I know today is not drawing, because Arm is not happy. So, Also, I didn't know you had a little stream Twitch name, so I'm gonna have to. Oh my god! Thank you for the follow. Do I say my normal spiel? I don't know. Um, Hello. Thank you for the follow. I hope you enjoyed the ooh emotes, the flexum emotes, and whatever else emotes there are because I can't remember my own emotes. That's just how it is. Yeah, yeah. Let's see. Let's see. Content warning. So I've just started a fresh game. Ba 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 ja. Let's also turn on the AC. I am dying in here. Bobaja. Let me also know if the volumes are good, if everything's fine. Maxie, go to your Chinese class. I don't need you to tell me. It's fine. It's fine. Am I did I have all of the things? Everything should be good, I think. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, that Kenny. Oh, Jubal. Hello, that Kenny guy. Welcome in. Bah. Oh, cute penguin. But who will send you weird salamander emotes? Are you otherwise? Bah. Hello, blob friend. Hello, that's Kenny guy. I am starting a brand new adventure. I know this is not my usual. Normally, I'd be doing art, so I don't necessarily expect too much today. But yeah. I don't need content warnings. I'm pretty sure I know that there's gonna be hot deer people in here. That's gonna be fine. Oh. Ooh. Okay. Okay, starting out. I love the aesthetic so far. It's very sketchy. Spoon level's a little bit low tonight, but nothing that popcorn and chocolate M&Ms can't fix. Oh. Also a fan of the art style already, right? Yep. I don't know, man. Let's see. Options. We might need to turn the music a little low. I like high tech speed. I would like faster text speed. I'm that kind of person. I'm sorry. Music volume a little lower just because I think it's reaching a little high in my ears. Let me double check on my settings. Ba ba. Equi, hello. The Hayseed Knight. Yes. I might have had a draw session with Maxi Molina, the solo developer of the Hayseed Knight, and might have whatchamacalls befriended them, took them under my blobby wing, and now here I am. Also, I say my blobby wing, but the reason why I'm also playing games is because I got, like, I know for most people they'd be like, gee, Color Brews, why'd you completely derail a stream twice because of a mosquito bite? Well, it turns out that mosquito bite got real swollen, like swelled up my entire right arm. Last I checked, it was about 4 inches big. Uh, and yeah, yeah. Anyways, Knights, let's hecking go! Jesus Christ, Color, go to the doctor. It's fine, it's fine. It happens all the time. I'll go to the doctor when I feel like it. It'll go away eventually. Oop, did the music just... Oh, I guess it's restarting. All right. With that said, I think controls is it keyboard, mouse, gamepad. I'm playing on gamepad right now, so we'll see. It's a visual novel. What could go wrong? What could go wrong? Bruce just rolling around going, I'm still alive, guys. You can't get rid of me that easily. Just don't have blood. That way the mosquitoes won't bite you. Playing on gamepad with your swollen arm. See, the thing about having a swollen arm with a gamepad is that I could hold my arm in place and have my wrist touching the table and my arm not touching anything. When I'm drawing, my arm has to touch something. Let's go. Ooh, already pretty. Rotharion, you are not one to talk about being weird. I'm sorry, you have no right, no foot to stand on. I'm a blob, I never have a foot to stand on. That's a lie, I have feet. Oh, the voice acting? There's no narrator! I could be the narrator! Yo! It's not picking up audio? It's not? Let's double check the audio, cause it's not a Call of Brew stream without something being scuffed. Let's double check. Doopa-dappa. Ba-ba-da. Bup. Bup. Bopa. Okay. You're allowed to be anywhere as long as no one finds you. Ojaba! Thank you, Valley, for the resub! Sneaking through forgotten cracks in a wall is not as easy as it once was, but I still managed to push my hat and my staff in somehow without wrecking the wall any further. Ah, it's the inner thoughts of Adler, I think. Today's a mess, and the last thing I'd want is the whole city knowing that I'm back in my nonsense. Namely, helping fawns trespass into abandoned temples in pursuit of fixing the written lies that pass as history these days. Tell me if you hear it or not. Let me know. I'm too old for this rubbish. I catch a glimpse of Lynn's expression as I push my scarf over my face again. My newest headache looks entirely unconvinced by my logic. Look, we're already here, and you're going to need all the help you can get, kid. I don't have time to explain every little single thing to you. I said that wrong, but that's okay. If said kid still had any qualms left about following me here, she has the rare decency not to voice them. You hear it? Okay, perfect. Bye, Jubal! Hello, Valley! I mean, this whole ordeal is her fault, in a very roundabout sort of way. Still her fault, nonetheless. It's anyone but mine, at least. I didn't come all this way back to the city to do charity for his descendants. I just want to find that dumbass's grave and clean up a little or leave some incense or something. Not this. I wasn't looking to hear legends about any so-called Knight of the Upper Field. I know the books in this library won't say a word about him, but I had to come back to this place anyways. The unlikely possibility of finding a trace of his existence among the broken tablets and burnt codices was far too compelling to ignore. My body is probably too big. I'll shrink my blobby body. There we go. Okay. Here I am, still following in his footsteps, like the few unlucky scripts that time and thieves spared, frozen in their shelves as they await the return of someone who will understand them. We have a lot in common, this library and I. The kid's eyes open a fraction wider, and I only managed to narrowly avoid the incoming onslaught of questions. Here, ink, paper. You could write, right?
Of course! You're talking to the fastest!
Shut it, Azkadaz.
Sheesh, you're really adding some flavor to my name, huh? Where did all that salt come from? Or could that be the sweetness of an old flame leaving such a bitter aftertaste?
Ew, no, don't do that. It makes you sound like your mother. I mean, her mother. Or her great-great-great-grandmother? Alright, have fun, I'll bully you later, no worries! Bye-bye, Maxie! Enjoy yourself! Bruise cast strength by 2 whole millimeters. Yeah! That! I can't believe the story has derailed this much. How long have I been gone?
I can't even start to guess if you won't tell me how old you are.
I'm entirely too old to care about something as dumb as numbers.
Well, gee, I'm starting to see why you wanted me here. Do you have a name, or are you too cool for letters too?
My name would only doom this project. You will be me, and I will be nothing more than the space between words.
What a droll way to say you want me getting lynched for this.
I can still keep the story to myself and tell you to get lost, kid.
But you won't, because after hearing my name, you realize I'm the chosen gazelle that legend of old prophesied would tell the true story of the night, right?
Uh-huh.
I could use a little encouragement here, not gonna lie.
Listen, Lynn, I don't believe in chosen ones, and I certainly don't know what the truth is. I doubt Adder himself ever knew. But I'm going to tell you the story I know. I will tell it once, and I'll probably tell it wrong, since I can barely remember it anymore. But even so, anything I say will be 1,000 times more accurate than any of the odes this witless bunch of fop-doodles have been singing through the ages. This may be Adder's punishment for lying his way into history, but I still can't let the name of a friend be smeared like that. So what I mean to say is that I will skewer you if you interrupt me and make me forget something.
Fair.
Cool. She finally shuts up for a moment, though I know the silence won't last. Right, good. I guess I should put my own thoughts in order before we begin. His history started back when he left this village to... No, that'd be too long. His story starts when he became a knight and... No, that defeats the point. I guess his story... Well, I guess his story starts with me. I could allow myself that much merit, right?
Who are you again?
I'm the one who tells the story. You write. Okay, alright, here we go. Chapter 1. Why, they're so cool. Yeah, Maxie's so cool, right? The Fickle Queen. What better way to start a story than when things are about to go south? Perfect! I love the writing in this already, god dang. Using fop doodle in a sentence? Ooh!
Hey, lad! Do we have to go through this every single Oh boy, here we go.
A beast! I saw a beast!
Way to call me an eyesore.
I'm telling you, I saw a beast.
Right. Look, I'm not drunk enough for this, so good.
This ain't no time to sleep. The beast may be gone, but the Macadar is still out there. The forest out there has come to find me.
Can you stop screaming like an idiot and use your brain for a second?
I knew they'd get to the city one day. We gotta tell everyone.
There are no damn trees around, you dimwit!
A long shush followed right after, or that's what we'll go with since the words the dear neighbors used were too colorful to be reproduced.
Oh, then what did you holler for, Mr. Bard? The sun ain't up yet. If you don't quit your whining, we're gonna get a beating.
Says you, the buck who hath been delighting mine ears with his pitiful wailing all night long.
Say what?
You've been talking in your sleep again.
I get choices! He seems in a frantic mood, but the beast.
That was no dream, all right. I saw the thing with my own with my one eye. Got its face right in front of mine, and it was looking at me like it wanted to eat me.
Are you sure that wasn't Dana?
Say what?
I mean, she can be very aggressive. I wouldn't be too surprised if one night...
You think Boss is trying to eat me?
O fairest in the kingdom, what hast thou seen in this dull head?
Wait. Fair? Fair? Oh, 3.
Don't.
The fire!
I swear to my Ted kid, if you keep screaming, I'm going to kill you.
Not if they get to me first!
And so Adder's heavy hooves stomped the ground with the force of stampede as he sprinted away, making Yelf regret every decision that led to him suffering this torment.
Well, we sorted that out.
Wide awake now and running as fast as his clumsy hooves would let him, Adder set off towards the beating heart of the city. Forgive me if I frick this up. The soak, hoping no one would feel like stopping his on the way. A whole year had come and gone since he'd first set foot in the streets of Slander District, the most infamous slums of the capital. A place so heinous that walking there alone at night was considered a suicide attempt. A place where you were in your right to keep a house if you could outlast its previous owner. Where he'd felt like a poor fawn fearing for his life, now he felt like a poor deer fearing for his life, but at least he actually knew his way around after such a long time avoiding brigands. He had no time to spare worrying about trivial matters such as being robbed or stabbed, for he knew fully well that he was to meet his destiny.
The patron's gonna skin me alive!
A destiny which most likely didn't really include being flayed by his dearest employer. Though we can't rule out the possibility of his district superior whacking him in the head for oversleeping on such an important date.
What if she hates me now? Then the patron won't have no problem kicking me out. He'll kick me out and keep my skin as a payment. Nah, that's dumb. But he'll kill me anyway. Oh, crap.
So immersed was he in these fatalistic thoughts invading his head that his brain, which was, by all accounts, made of sawdust, didn't pay any mind to the path his hooves were following. And so, as is to be expected from someone not heeding the wise advice, look where you're going, he soon met the first obstacle in his way to the plaza. On his way to the plaza. A wall. Hey, Mura, welcome in! I doing something different today because my arm is swollen.
Oh dear.
In any other place, that soft chuckle would have meant Adder wouldn't have the benefit of living with his failures alone. In the slums, it would mean that he wouldn't have the benefit of living at all.
That was almost impressive. I truly thought that you were going to run straight through that wall for a moment.
Dang! Hello, lady? Hello? Oh, hey, I remember Akko playing a demo of this. Hey, Esper! I befriended a friend. That friend happened to be the person who developed this game. I also happen to have a swollen arm that cannot be drawing right now. So instead, I will be playing this game. Also, hello, Octavio. Welcome in. Hi, I Color Bruce. Thank you for following. I hope you enjoy your ooh emotes, your flexum emotes, and whatever else. Oh, but yeah, that happens to be because I can't remember my own emotes. Not the meat mecha's arm. Yeah. Like I said, I'm highly allergic to I think specifically tiger mosquitoes here. I don't know entirely what it is, but I got bit once on it on my right arm, which is my drawing arm, by the way. The swelling has gotten up to about 4 inches. Yeah. So if I rest it on anything, my arm starts like, you ever have like that weird soreness that just you can't ignore? That's what's happened to my meat mecha. Yeah. So that's why I'm here being like, you know what? What about hot deer people instead? Yeah. I know. I feel so pathetic though because I'm like, man, my arm is how could you tell people being like, I can't draw today. My arm got bit by a mosquito, right? Oh my god, I'm so sorry to hear. Get well soon. No worries, Adrian and Octavio. By the way, let me know if you want Adrian or Octavio. Either way, that's fine. I mean, you know, silver lining, I get to play this cool game. You know, like, hey, take it easy, right? But still take it. The voice got closer by the second, followed by a strangely harmonic tinkling. A melody that danced in his ears and paralyzed his mind, rendering him frozen in the spot at the thought of an incoming murderous lady. Adrian's preferred. Okay, thank you. Also agree. Hot deer people! Yeah, hot deer people! Adder shut his one remaining eye and held his breath deeply, knowing that it could be the last. Not dead yet. Still not dead. How come he was still alive? That was just rude! Between his blurry sight and the obfuscating... God, I keep... Hello, Blob learns how to read. In the obfuscating darkness, Adder could barely discern the silhouette standing right in front of him. He should have run and screamed and begged for his life, but instead, he hesitated long enough for a few stray sun rays to wander among the run-down houses, finally casting light upon his foe.
Whoa!
For your information, everyone already thinks that Rose are thick-skulled. We don't need another martyr for the cause.
The frame. A plump gazelle dressed in exquisite silks watched over him, sole witness to his downfall. She smiled at him with the ease of one who is wealthy enough to be a local wherever they go.
Are you okay?
I'd take that hand. I'm just saying, I'd take that hand in a heartbeat. I am weak. Suddenly unequipped to offer a coherent reply, Adaro stared in stunned silence. His delayed reaction was nothing short of concerning given the circumstances, but the new bump on his head was not to blame for it. Despite the preconceptions screaming otherwise in his mind, this gazelle didn't appear to be hostile, murderous, or even the slightest bit interested in bringing about his death. In fact, the only demise that seemed imminent was hers.
What? Are you okay? What are you doing out about in a place like this, ma'am? You lost or something?
In a way, I suppose. I'm hiding.
And here I am hollering down the street without a care in the world. I'm so sorry. I'll leave you be.
Okay, I'm just gonna give kudos to saying all of that as fast as he did with an accent. I mean, hello?
No need. I'm not in immediate danger, and I fully intend to be found. It is a matter of principle. I guess what I intend to be is a nuisance.
So you're playing some kind of rich gal hide and seek?
Does that lower your opinion of me much?
I mean, I ain't got much of an opinion of you yet. An impression at most?
You've definitely made one.
The girl turned the curve of her horns towards the adder-shaped indentation on the wall. She returned with a smirk, which only served to crease Adder's brow.
You ain't no coward, that's for sure. You gotta have a lot of gall or a lot of empty room in your head to go slumming it in a place like this.
You're one to talk.
Who, me? Pfft, no, of course not. I ain't want to talk to reckless moneybags who risk their one life dawdling in slander, chewing the rag with boneheads who plow straight into walls. Except I am, because that's what they call sarcasm in these parts.
Okay, hold on. That's great humor.
I couldn't tell.
See? That's what I'm talking about. You can't survive out here if you don't know that much, ma'am. I know y'all better sorts like playing with fire, but
But he could hardly bear the thought of going on his merry way and letting a young lady become a ransom note. Not even his neck, or his job rather, was on the line.
y'all got space for one more player?
You want us to hide together? Wouldn't that be reckless of me?
Good question. I wouldn't trust myself if I were a full-time slum dweller, but I'm a temporary slum dweller. An honorary slum dweller, if you will. You could trust me for about 10 minutes.
They laughed together under their breath, like old friends sharing a secret.
I don't know about safe, but I promise you won't be bored.
Hello, Zax! I may be having a sudden crisis upon learning that my favorite color is actually the iconic 90s windbreaker turquoise. No, say it ain't so. Also, thank you for reminding me. You see, we just got the colors in for the experiment, but I forgot to reset the hex codes. So I'm gonna do this little thing. Poopa. Perfect. All right, so great time to tell you guys that, hey, new hex codes can be put in now. Thank you. Adrian! I have to find the words to thank Maxie my fullest extent how happy I am that he gave her this body type. I love representing. Oh yes, for I'm assuming that name is Seth. Look, I'm still new to this. I'm still figuring it out. But yes, no, like she's thicker, you know?
I would enjoy that.
The corner of her lips contorted upwards into a sincere grin. It felt like the greatest achievement in the boy's entire life. Adder dusted his scruffy pants, straightened his fourth or fifth hand jacket, and cleared his throat.
It's a deal then. You're in luck today, ma'am. You get a hiding partner, a meat shield, and a tour guide for the unbeatable price of nothing at all. Please stay close to the coward by your side and keep your wits about. Down danger alleys we go.
Ada said this with his chin up and at full chest. For anything else would have had him slapping his own snout, wondering what in the name of Hatsa was he getting himself into this time. Yay, love, right? Like thicker women? Hello? We love thick women! Yeah, it is unfortunately true, Color, says Zach. And I feel like only an artist can understand my turmoil. I mean, I do, but also, like, as someone who loves color, if you couldn't tell by the name Color Bruise, I know, what a concept. I'm down for it. Like, yeah, if it happens to be the 90 Windbreaker turquoise, then so be it. Majestic twerking Squidward. Hello, welcome in. I heard the words thick women and clicked immediately. Perfect. I'm glad. Welcome in. Let me know if you'd like to be known as anything in particular. And I'll try and remember. But yeah, welcome in to the Hayseed Knight. Yes. Ada's anxiety were ample, unwholesome, and they tended to grow in the absence of dialogue. A few minutes stuck on a narrow staircase next to a wistful-looking girl, and he was already teeming with them. Adder, whoa, hey, whoa, buddy, whoa, hey, whoa, mine first. It occurred to him, now that his meager wits were starting to rearrange after getting so terribly scrambled, that running into a wall and ditching his job were potentially the least fatal among his long string of poor decisions.
So, if it ain't prying too much, course, who are we hiding from again?
Hi, what are you doing? I think I'm your target audience. I go by my username, that's all. So I have to say the full thing of Majestic Twerking Squidward. You know what? I'm down for that. I am so down for that. Honestly, if you are my target audience, by all means, perfectly welcome. I have Seth's body type and Adder's communication skills. Handshake? Handshake. No, Majestic. Squid or Majestic is cool too. Okay, no worries.
Oh, no one important. You'll know when you see them.
Ooh.
Right, gotcha.
Adder didn't dare spare a single look in the direction of his rather nonchalant company. He couldn't afford that sort of stress in his life. Our illiterate protagonist hardly knew what a book was, or why it was generally poor manners to judge one by its cover. But he had just started to workshop the idea that the quality of one's clothes didn't necessarily reflect one's station in life. He didn't want to assume, of course, but the horned lady by his side could have easily been a thief dressing up on her way back from a Mark's house. Adder was pretty sure this was not the case. But what if? What if it was? What then? Got a balanced, happy visual noveling? Yeah, no worries, Melody. I will get you your voice lines, hopefully by the end of today, if not tomorrow. I got you, fam. No worries. Great meeting you all. I might drop in later as well. Great streams. Yeah, enjoy yourself, Squid. Save it for... There's nothing to save at the moment. Wait, is there? Hold on. There is a save menu. You're so right. Oh my god. Thank you, Zax. Save. We're gonna solve... In this one, I could totally pick my own save files, yes. If I was him right now, I would let her take whatever she wanted. Dang, Adrian. He'd get gored to death. That's what. The boy sidled one eye discreetly towards her comparatively large and sharp-coiled black horns, hoping to find them a safe distance away from his face and all his fears. Fears that weren't eased by the liberty with which he found her inches away from his shoulder, gawking at his own antlers.
You're gonna make him shorter if you keep staring like that, ma'am.
Oh, that was... Clever wordplay there.
Oh, sorry. Am I making you self-conscious? I was just trying to get a better look at your eye patch.
That ain't much better, you know?
Where would you have me look?
Anywhere but me.
A fine company you'll make, then.
I thought we were supposed to be hiding.
And yet, I'd swear that I'd set out to find you.
Our favorite dear didn't know what to make of this sentence. She wouldn't grant him the time to digest it either.
The round will be over before we know it. Let me use my one chance to look at you.
I don't know. I kind of woke up too early, and I didn't have time to wash my face very well, and I don't really like being looked at, and I got a lot to get back to.
So you were in a rush. Am I keeping you?
Her expression morphed into an affected pout, an atrocious turn of events. Truth is, Adder wasn't going to just be late for work anymore. He'd be double late.
I got places to be, yeah? But you can keep me all you like. I mean, what's the matter at this point? May as well save myself the trip back home. Chances are I'm already fired.
The lady raised a single eyebrow. It was sharp enough to stab Adder in the in the common
And
sense.
you'd rather not cast the die.
Never been one to gamble.
I'm much the same as you. Metaphorically, that is. I do have a job to keep me busy.
Hey, I do too. I got like 15, in fact. I'm a farmer by birth, a smith apprentice by trade, a fighter by chance, a water seller by day, a rivet peddler by night, a beggar when necessity strikes.
God, I feel that.
Newly unemployed by choice.
If you want me to get, you can just say that, ma'am.
I hold nothing but your best interests at heart.
Well, that makes two of us. What do you call that situation?
Unbelievable.
The gazelle turned her face briskly away, towards the walls surrounding the market in the distance. Her walls seemed just as tall. Oh, I get it. Now, Adder wasn't exactly what we call smooth, suave, anything less than gritty, really. But even he knew that the conversation wasn't going right, left, or anywhere he wanted it to go. He fully realized that he was being led by the nose by some pretty lady who hadn't even asked him to stay. He could have just walked off. He could have walked off right then and lived a life none the wiser to the trouble that would come.
Oh, on second thought, what the hey? Look all you want. You got yourself a pass to the main event.
I mean, I can't blame him.
Come and see, you bold. All the ways deer can grow wrong. Feast your eyes on the terror from Chantilly, the error of nature. Long neck shovel hand!
Adder made a little pirouette as he fell headfirst down the stairs. That was thankfully enough to earn him another smile.
I don't suppose you're an acrobat.
I'm the whole circus act, ma'am.
Adder wiggled one of his gigantic hands up in the air for her to inspect, trying to provide a solid argument for his thesis.
What are those?
He felt a nice friendly grip on his hand, kindly pulling him up from the ground. And before he knew it, he found himself face to hand with the lady upstairs. She was eyeing him up and down, inspecting his hands in the way one would study an ancient carving.
My hands?
I bet he feels this conversation like when I get pulled into a Patreon Discord with 3 people, automatically thinks the automatic bot. Oh, Pat, Adrian. Flag on the play, aggressive hotness on the gazelle, no penalty, please. Continue. Are you a
Born with
sports
them?
guy?
How much weight can you lift? Can you use tools at all? How do you put on shirts? What's wrong with your neck? Is that a hood or a scarf? I love the pattern, by the way.
It bears mentioning that at this point in his life, Adder had only been granted the honor of holding hands with 2 women, his mother and his boss. Both were rough and weathered up by years of work, and both could beat him in an arm wrestling given the occasion. Finely filed fingers gently wrapped around his arm were complete novelty, even if their owner was a...
So?
I'm sorry, ma'am. What was the question?
You! What are you supposed to be?
Oh, I like that second choice.
Can't you tell looking at these whappers? I'm a Cartwright fighter. I was just practicing my tackles back there, see? Yeah! Huh. I don't mean to brag, but I'm kind of a big deal.
Oh, so you're one of those head-butting brutes.
No!
No!
That's the wrong answer!
No, I ain't no brute. I was just lying to impress you. You seen the size of these sticks on my head? What am I supposed to do with them? Tickle the other buck to death?
Then I guess you have yet to explain the part where you run into a wall.
Oh, just the usual around these lands. How I was running for my life. In fact, you and I should both get going before a local shows up with a knife.
Is me. I'm the local with a knife. His accidental rhyme earned him a little chuckle.
What you laughing about? Is there anything on my snout?
Is this another gig of yours? Street poet? Or could it be that you intend to steal my attention and my purse, seeing as how you seem so sure that I'm not here to rob you?
You can turn back time. Well, I'm definitely one of those people that saves for like a game over, but I'm not gonna go back on my choices at the moment. Which, by the way, I should save again. Papaja!
Well, ma'am, folks around here come in two flavors: stabby and gritty. But I'd never seen a thief that looked quite so pretty.
Oh, we're doing this.
I don't know what this means, but you're just so inspiring. That unrehearsed. I keep on rhyming.
Oh no. Stop that. They're terrible.
Bars! Bars, guys! Bars!
For you, I can keep on rhyming till I die. 'Cause, lady, your beauty don't fit in a single eye.
Okay, stop that. The good-natured laughter stopped all of a sudden.
My what? Sorry?
Your beauty?
Really? How can it be that the intangible concept of beauty cannot fit within the boundaries of one eye?
I would ask for his number immediately for that line. Then again, would ask for his number immediately, period. Alright, apologize. No, don't apologize. Never apologize for taste. Never apologize for immaculate taste, okay?
'Cause it's so big?
My beauty is too big.
No, I mean, yes, I mean, it's perfect. Your beauty! Beauty! I said...
How inappropriate.
Inappropriate? What a fancy word, ma'am. You can call me worse things if you'd like. Or you can call the guards. Or eel grab. Or I could just save you the trouble and go jump off a cliff right now.
Jesus, Adder! While the redhead lady laughed and laughed, unable to muster the strength in her heart to stop, Adder stumbled back, uttering apologies that surely made no sense whatsoever. He might as well have recited another poem to apologize. We'll never know for sure, for his accent became so thick that whenever he lost his cool, that academics to this day still argue if that way of talking can truly be considered Cernar. But I digress. It seemed Adder wouldn't have allowed to die of shame quite so early.
Wait, no. Come back. I'm not mad. But I will be if you make me run after you.
Adder halted in his step, but he remained too mortified to face her. It was the gazelle who circled around him to look him in the eye.
We can't have you running away now that I found you.
Whew! The deer wasn't sure what exactly she meant by that, but he couldn't quite gather the wits to think about it as she moved her hands to his sunken cheeks, where nothing remained but a gaunt skin attached almost directly to his skull.
Yes, it is you, isn't it? Short-horned, loud-mouthed, and one-eyed. Just so much more emaciated. Oh, how could you let this happen to yourself?
Adder's apple bounced in his throat, suddenly brought back to the present by the realization of how close her blue eyes were to his own.
I'm so sorry, ma'am. I don't know what came over me. I swear ain't no...
Oh? So you aren't the type that sees a pretty gazelle and splurts something daft every time?
No, of course not.
Then is it just me that has this effect on you? I'm honored.
Effect? What are you talking about? I'm just a gentlemanly buffoon, ma'am. I open my mouth and silly stuff comes out. It don't mean nothing.
So you're a buffoon and a cad. What a terrible combination. You're bound to break someone's heart one of these days.
Why'd you keep talking like we knew each other?
Because you do know me. In fact, you've had me looking for quite a while now.
Dear God, I'm reminded of my high school harem protagonist days. How did she put that much sexy into the word daft? Right? I'm just like, okay, lady, hold on, what up?
Ma'am, I think our 10 minutes are up. I don't know what you're selling, but I ain't gonna buy it.
Come on. Don't you remember that night on the bridge under Hirob's statue? With the guards laughing at you? You didn't hit your head that hard, did you?
I bet those guards had one haystack of a night laughing at some poor buck, but I'm pretty darn sure that wasn't me. I'd remember you. Trust me.
In other circumstances, perhaps. But I suppose a year would be far too long regardless. Oh well, that only leaves one way to find out.
The cryptic woman bit her lip just long enough to make Adders lose his need to understand the situation anymore.
Come closer.
Okay, back to Earth now. Come on, hop. Who, me? Almost asked the deer. Yet there was no one else hiding in the mists of dawn.
I said come closer.
All right then, here I come.
That's it. Come on, don't make me walk over there. Boop. That's close enough.
She slipped right under Adder's arm, uninvited, but not unwelcomed.
Now, if you could get on your knees.
Yes, ma'am!
You know what? Maybe you should see a doctor after all.
Hey, quit talking about my arm like that.
Jasif! There you are!
Wait,
Now, seriously?
In less than a blink, the gazelle's smile was back on her face. She turned to face the voice in the distance. It belonged to a doe in similarly flashy clothing, hurriedly stomping her way towards Jasif, apparently.
You called?
We've been looking everywhere for you!
Blep! He was Blep! He totally was Blep. It's great. Never mind, Earth will never be in my lexicon when Seth is talking.
And so you found me. Congratulations. Now, if you don't mind.
Miss Rochelle's had us searching for hours! She wants you back immediately!
Well, I'm kind of busy, so would you be so kind to go tell her to find someone else to bother while I catch up with my friend here?
The fair's about to start! Head back already or you'll get us all in trouble!
The red-haired woman held her breath for what felt like an eternity. The entire world seemed to slow down to match her pace, afraid of moving another second forward.
I'm sorry. Was that an order?
What? Miss Rochelle said...
Say, do you know what happened to the last wench who had the gall to order me around?
Jasif grinned and remained glued to her face, but her eyes had narrowed down to a squint, sharpening her long eyelashes even further.
I don't...
Care to...
Oops. The doe, looking for her, stammered. Color drained from her mane. After the few tense seconds, Jasif clapped her hands.
Oh, sorry. Was that too much? Don't make that face, honey. I'm just joking here. I'm not idle enough to begin picking fights with my sisters, don't you think?
Right.
She's very brightly colored compared to her sister.
Then that's settled. Let's go.
Unless it's more like sister in terms of, like, that sort of like, hey, brother-sister family talk, where everyone's a brother-sister kind of thing. I don't know how this works. Jasif whipped her tail as she spun the opposite direction, making the choir of bells that hung from her hips announce her leave. Adder hadn't quite planned on sticking around so long, and he positively didn't mean to spy on anyone. He was just worried, of course. But now, with good reason. Mane is such a niche word. Can someone explain to me what it is? I am a dull blob. Please let me know. The withdrawn gazelle that so eagerly tried to convince him of their acquaintance had all but vanished, and the terrifying lady that took the place seemed to have forgotten all about him. Barhan or not, Adder didn't have many chances to make new friends, especially in the upper echelon, to whom he owed a great deal of kindness when his dinner depended on it. He thought it wise, therefore, to introduce himself before the strange beauty left his life for good.
Wait!
Yes?
His call came out a little more desperate than he intended, and who could blame him? He had found himself petrified at the sight of her, all over again. Her bright red hair curling into messy waves behind her neck, her horns shining in such a deep, reflective black, her long, fluffy tail lazily wagging behind her, captured halfway through a step. What was a nobody like him doing talking to a woman like her? Why would she ever bother so much as to look back? Adder's heart skipped a beat, and once he realized so, he would have sooner had it stop beating altogether. No way! I wasn't looking at her! Adder yelled internally. Beads of sweat began falling from his temples as his face became even more flustered. There's no way Flustered as he was, he barely registered the gazelle, walking down the few steps that had separated them. As if meaning to aggravate his inner turmoil, Jasif smiled one last time with a mischievous glint in her eyes.
Don't worry, I haven't forgotten about you.
Mien is a person's look of manner, especially one of a particular kind indicating their character or mood. Oh! Today I learned. Adrian. Oh, huh, when I looked it up, it was noodles. I guess yours makes more sense. Then again, I always carry my spare noodles around. You have spare noodles?
It's your turn to find me next, handsome.
Adder was so many things. He was goofy. He was loud. He had a smile that could light up a whole town. He was gigantic, and yet, if there was a thing he'd never call himself, it was, no doubt, handsome. After all, a buck's worth may be as large as his horns are, and his were, well, tiny. Almost childlike. So that offhanded compliment, that mere insinuation that someone found him actually good-looking, made his heart flutter. And by flutter, I mean it may as well have burst out of his chest right then. The blep, the shaking, it's great. So, for just 1 second, he forgot that the lady in front of him was horned. For a moment, he forgot all the horrible things he'd heard about gazelles, and those who fancied them. His face turned red, his jaw came loose, but had he been able to articulate, he had found he'd completely forgotten the ability to talk. He still knew how to do one thing, though. The only choice. Oh my god! This time, his shame was stronger than the wall.
Wait, what? Stop right there. What was that last bit?
The bit about the wall or the Oh, I see. Ruminants haven't always been so successful at living together as they are now. Wars, guards, orange shape, all the excuses to be different used to make a lot more sense to mortals back then.
No, I know that, but there's no way the knight would have thought something so awful.
Adder was a young, insincere stag at the time when every roe felt the need to deny having a single drop of Barham blood in their veins. Why would he think any different?
Why wouldn't he? That's the point, isn't it? That he was different from the rest. How could he believe any of that crap?
How should I know? I never had anything against gazelles. Jeez, back off.
Sounds like you weren't a whole lot bothered by those who did, though.
You're right. I wasn't. I just thought that there always had to be someone to punch down on, and I spent all my energy making sure that would never be me. That was the world as I saw it, and I never hoped it could be any different. Never wanted it to change. Adder, though? I think he never meant to do that to anyone. I think he just hadn't realized there was more to the world than the fears he had been raised with. He had to butt heads with more than one type of wall in his life. I could be wrong, of course. His understanding could have been yet another pretense, and he may have very well lied about wanting to fight with the rest of us until his very last breath. I love the facial expressions in your model. Oh, thank you! I appreciate it. There's a little part of me that I have a bit of a vengeance now, a spiteful vengeance against people who and I know they mean well, but it's still a bit of a spiteful vengeance of people telling me, "Hey, when are you gonna get a real model?" And now I'm like, no, I'm gonna be only a PNG tuber. I'm gonna be the best dang PNG tuber you've ever seen, and that's my story. There you go. So the fact that you're like, oh hey, your model's expressions are great, it makes me happy. Thank you. No, I'm sure he did grow to be a wise and kind man, Lynn. Much wiser and kinder than I ever was, at least. Neither of us would be here making excuses for that dumbass otherwise.
Well, I don't care about you, but he'd better rise up soon. I have high-quality standards for my ancestors.
I'm glad you do, kid. Now, where were we? The sun was already up in the sky by the time Adder managed to remember that he was supposed to go to the soak.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to arrive so late. Please don't kill me.
But lo and behold, there was no one around.
What do you know? First again. I'm gonna have to ask for a raise at this rate. Oh, hold up. Now ain't the time for that. Andy could get here at any... Oh, boss. Gotcha. You're gonna end up giving someone a heart attack if you don't quit sneaking up on people like that, you know.
Ooh, that growl. Hello.
Right. Don't you think for a second I forgot I was supposed to prepare the stall. No, ma'am. But, you know, days are getting longer, and it's harder to sleep at night, and the streets are real crowded, and...
Aina? Aina. I'm assuming it's pronounced Aina. Or Enna. I can't remember. I love Sprite stories. My Sprite stories, one time in 2006 said, I said 5NAF instead of FNAF, and everyone in the middle school just got mad at me. Been calling it that ever since. Yeah! Yeah! Fight the power! Anna's silent glare told him that she didn't believe a single word. But she didn't care enough to pry either.
Hey now! Quit giving me that look, Missy! You got here late, too.
He pointed at her hair. Drops of silvery green water were dancing on her tips, painting the ground beneath them.
How is it my fault that you were busy dyeing your hair?
Leaving him with that perfectly valid question unanswered, she walked back to pick up a big bag she left a few steps away. He lifted it up and with a single hand, and then headed towards that stall, closely followed by Adder. It was about time they began working. A sudden thought popped in Adder's mind as he helped her set up their carpet.
So, how come the patron ain't here? It's just gonna be the two of us today?
Anna simply shrugged.
You won't tell your pa I got here late, right, boss?
She punched his arm with such strength that she almost made him fall sideways.
Ow! What did I... Oh, tail. Sorry, boss.
This little reminder that that was a sensitive issue effectively killed the conversation. People from all over Earlum began congregating in the soak. I'm gonna butcher these words. I am so gonna butcher these words. Turning the walled plaza into a sea of spice, trinkets, and deer. The currents of that sea were still difficult to understand for Adder, who often found himself pushed to the ground in the busiest hours. The day would be especially lively. It was the beginning of a monsoon season, and so the festive Ikane had to make sure to bid a proper farewell to the rain clouds, so they'll be back again by the end of it. A pleasant change from Adder's usual day-to-day, working in Aina's forge under the continuous risk of suffering a heat stroke or third-degree burns. Or, that's what he thought at first.
Welcome, welcome! We got the best prices in town! Come on and see what goods we offer!
There was no reaction whatsoever to his incessant yelling. Big thing! I want to write it! Other than Aina snickering at him for trying so hard, that is. There it comes again.
Must be fun watching me break my back so your dad won't yell at us.
Is that? Wait a minute, is that who I think it is? With a long sigh, Aina sat up and cast a teared glance over the carpet. She reached out and grabbed a small, shiny dagger. After checking its sharpness against her gloves, she began stabbing at the air as possible customers approached the stall, attempting to showcase its intended use. Yes! I love them already! I get you! Knife buddies! Knife buddies! Adder quickly put his hands over her shoulders, discreetly bringing her arms down.
You know what? Nah, take that back. There ain't no deer in the world that works harder than Aina of the test. There just ain't. A hard worker like you deserves a good rest every once in a while, so just let me take care of this, boss.
He did his best to attempt at a natural smile. Aina, who couldn't care less about any of this, simply shrugged and sat back, still wielding the knife. She let her hand fall on one of the stones that paved the soak and effortlessly tore it from the ground, deciding that it served better as a sharpening tool.
You do you.
It was best to leave this issue alone. Adder had figured out quite some time ago that Aina was a creature of habit, and her habits included steadfastly refusing to put any effort into anything she didn't care about, but it never really bothered him at all. There was something fascinating about watching her get completely absorbed by whatever task she had chosen to focus on, really. Adder never quite had that level of dedication to his craft, if he even had one. He could hammer it tirelessly at a single hunk of metal for hours at a time if the piece required so, all while judging Adder's every move with the same intensity. She was just as capable of sitting in a corner and glaring away the hours while she sank deep into her own imagination. That's why he immediately knew something was off when she turned her face away from the dull knife of her own accord.
Huh? What's wrong, boss? Wait, is that... Oh, no. Don't tell me he's coming this way!
Anna wasn't going to tell him either way, but coming this way he was. He being Adder's worst one-sided nightmare. Oh my god, words! Words I don't understand! I'm too small-brained for this! Hyper-focused representation? Hell yeah, Zax. Me too, Anna, me too. Yes, Anna deserves the world. She feels like such a mood. Like, yes, sure, she's stern, but like, I don't blame her. Almatacin? Almatacin of Earlim's sock? I can't. I'm too small-brained at this. The allotactician. There we go. Taylid, the treasurer, followed by his pale retinue.
Welcome to the encyclopedia. If you want to learn all about the characters and the world they live in, make sure to come back often. If you ever find yourself overwhelmed by all the info, don't worry, you will learn all the important concepts as you play through the story itself. Still, if you want a crash course ahead of time, I'd recommend reading the topic, species, and lore and checking out locations.
Boobaja! Ha! I don't understand half of this, but at the same time, I'm just enjoying the characters. Sort by number, characters. Lore? Okay. Oh my god. There's so much! My brain's gonna be too explodey. I'ma do this thing. How about this? For the sake of stream, I will go over this in my own time. We'll just continue story. Adder didn't even have the time to yelp before the merchant among merchants politely announced his presence with an ancient greeting.
Tasakirmat, Miss Tess. I'm aware of how hectic the stall must be today, so I won't keep you long.
Bless you, sir.
I simply realized what a rare occasion it is to see you out in a crowd, so I thought I would take a moment to come and pay my respects to you. I hope you'll find some solace seeing a familiar face among the hustle and bustle.
It's 2025 and I still laugh when I hear the word among. Okay. Adrian. So I'll have you know that I have a very special connection to Among Us, but also I find it super funny because the voice role that I just got, my very first one, I'm very proud of it. I may have snuck in a couple of extra lines of dialogue that were Among Us related to the developer, and he's just like, "You didn't." Oh, that's diabolical. So Among is still relevant to this day. I don't care.
I like Tweedledee and Tweedledoo standing behind him.
I hate that you said that. Anna's eyes turned sharply away from Taylid and closely accompanied by the tip of her knife. The stag's head followed the motion, only to find the eerily immobile set of deer waiting by his side.
Hayo, Kawa!
Hello, Dante! How are you doing? How are you feeling?
I understand the apprehension you feel towards my company, but I'm afraid these are the only escorts I can ever trust with my back anymore. It's a dangerous world out there for people like me.
Boobaja!
Speaking of which, where's your father? Has he considered my latest proposal? Or will I have to send any more of my people his way?
Why are you proposing to their dad? Gosh, I mean, I know you're probably gay, but... Ada didn't miss the way Anna's fingers clenched around the dagger she was sharpening. You're not my daddy! Come with excuse? Distract. I love these stupid ones. I want to do the stupid ones, even if they're the wrong answers.
Holy whores! Check out that Buck's grapevine, boss! It's gotta be the biggest tree I've seen in my life from root to branchlets. Darn! That shrub's worth a fortune, I'm telling you. And trust me, I'm Chanchurian born and raised. I know a thing or two about giant trees.
I love that it's Tangurian, but also because it has the X and the Z's and such in it, I'm just like, Texan! Aina didn't bat an eye at the interpretation, while Taylor didn't even seem to hear him. Their bizarre staring contest remained strictly a two-person business.
Save.
Save. I need a save. It's been a while since I saved. Adder was never one to give up so easily, however.
Yep, sure'd be nice if we could have a plant like that dragging our stuff around. Oh, it's a real shame the patron don't plan to bother showing up today. We could have tried to convince him together.
I swear to God, if it does the distraction dance from Stick... Oh, okay.
Whoever buys that tree is going to show the world he's a deer with class. Ain't that right, ain't it?
Adder needn't do anything more remarkable than put a hand on Aina's shoulder to make Taylor shoot a look in his direction at last. It was but a brief glance, a glance best preserved for a slug crawling up your leg, a glance so scalding that it could make weeds wilt and crumble to dust within seconds. The kind of glance that would normally precede the ultimately death of an elongated yellow stag. As Adder's luck would have it, however, recognition set in the merchant's gaze just at the right moment. An unsettling half-smile formed in his face instead.
Ah, yes. I remember you now. Geoff's little paramour. The oversized one-eyed fawn that wanted to be a knight. One Durandun for a full set of armor was what you requested, if I'm not mistaken.
The gay tension! Yes, Mura! Yes! Of course! The gay excuse me, for Pride Month, I need to know that we have echologation. Feeling like crap, but I got iced tea and chips. And you! So we ball. You know what? That's fair. I'm sorry that you had a rough day. God, do I understand that. But honestly, I'm glad you're here, and if you want to stick around or lurk, either way, I'm just happy that you stopped by, and that this gives you some peace. Please take care of yourself, okay? The idea of Taylor asking me out feels like my friends when the Switch 2. Feels like my friends when the Switch 2. I don't know if that's supposed to be a thing. Is that an activity? I'm sure there's probably supposed to be something else there. In hypothetical, I could list all the reasons why I would decline, but when push comes to shove, I'd probably cave immediately. Okay.
Nope. Sir, I'd never dare say you're mistaken, but I doubly not dare say so when it comes to numbers. Imagine it. Poor farm boy could barely count trying to tell the Taylor how money works. Darn, just thinking about it cracks me up.
Dante, Color, I'm a teacher. There's not a single day in my life that isn't rough. You know, I don't know how to tell you this. I am married to a teacher. Yeah, no, I get you. Pat.
No, sir, I can't. I just can't believe for one moment the most famous loner in all the heirloom would be so kind to remember a dumb buck's dumb dreams, much less his ugly friggin' mug.
Of course. I never forget a face, no matter how weathered or insignificant. That'd be remiss of me.
If it means anything, I'm proud of you for pulling through it. Hell yeah, no, like seriously, teachers out there needs more respect. Hell yeah, Dante, I'm sorry that you're going through it, but also, like, I'm proud of you for getting through it. Adrian's right. Yeah. I'm so sorry, you poor soul. It's like, it's not a big deal to me. It's more to Steel, right? Like, Steel has to go through it, not me. I'm here playing games and being like, oh, whoa, I can't do anything because my arm is all swollen. Which, honestly, kind of sucks. But at the same time, silver lining, I get to play a cool game. Taylor nodded to himself thoughtfully, giving Adder a chance to discreetly crawl behind Aina. Despite the yellow stag's desperate inner pleas, Taylor's eyes soon shifted towards him again.
Forgive my curiosity. I just can't help but wonder. How can a country boy with ambitions as great as yours go on living, day after day, knowing he can't aspire to more than his deplorable life? Geoff can barely stay sober enough to feed himself. Never mind someone twice his size.
Who's
it must
voicing?
be exhausting, staying alive.
I gotta know. Right? These voice actors are so good! And if I'm correct, I think I know who Aina's is, if I've heard it through the grapevines correctly. Granted, we can't hear them very much right now, hear her very much right now. But, you know what? Let's go do a little save. Let's go to the menu for a second. There we are. Credits. Hello? How do I... There you go. Proofreading, backgrounds, GUI, Maximiliana, French translation, voicing. Here we go. Where is Taylid? Ryan Hoyle, apparently. Let me look at. Aina. Yeah. Okay. Aina is Maxi. Got it. Okay. Cool. Cool.
Oh, no, not at all. We manage. Sorta.
Taylid's soft features drew closer to Adder, but he barely even noticed. His only eye remained glued to Taylid's bodyguards.
It's not too late to consider the offer I made you back then. Let me put those deformed hands of yours to better use. I could give you the armor and the money to pay for it now, if you come work for me in the sewers. It won't be much worse than whatever the blind witch has you doing.
That's mighty kind of you, Mr. Taylor, but it's poor manners to consider job offers in front of your own boss.
You make a fair point. Perhaps once I've torn that red scab off our guild's back then. Aina?
Taylor finished his farewell with a bow and thus left the moneylender at last, followed by the delayed rhythm of a calcareous bun? Calcareous?
I'm a voice actor, I swear.
Rhythm of calcareous march. Adder's body had somehow contorted into being nearly indistinguishable from Aina's at this point. He needed a few more seconds to thaw out that position.
Divine beeswax, I'm crawling out of my skin here.
I don't know how to explain this, but most furry voices this is most furry voices. I'm like, this is the most, or this is the most, like, as in good? I think there's supposed to be a descriptor there that I missed. This is most furry voices I've ever heard. Most furry.
Yeah.
Most furry. You know what? That is it. That'll be our raid call. Most furry. Twitch glitched down and the entire chat was covered by an ad. Oof. Like when you see a character and you know how they sound. Oh. Like you just got them, right? Like you're just like, dang, that's bullseye, strike zone.
Who the hell you laughing at now, huh? That weirdo ain't no joke, you hear me? Last time I talked to him, it only took me shoving my hoof in my mouth half a second to swish, get a blade on my neck. And all I could see out of this eye was the creepy face of one of those golem.
Aina's ears perked up, though her gaze remained firmly locked on the blade.
No, yeah, of course you'd find it funny, Mistress Miss Tess. Paying my respect sure is a fancy way of saying he got the hots for you.
Adder barely avoided getting his liver punctured by an extremely flustered Aina. Well, I don't blame her. Yeah, like cartoony, but also clearly adults. Very Tumblr coded. It has that like interesting Western kind of feel, but I get what you mean by Tumblr coded. I do get it. The hours passed by slowly and painfully, for they were completely ignored by any passerby. And, well, actually avoided, rather than ignored. Also forgot to do the confession earlier. When I saw Geoff's names, when I first started the game, in the cursive name text, I thought it was... No. Okay, cool. I'm not the only one who thought it was Gyat. And especially my alpha gen coded language skills that I'm trying to learn lately, and I'm just like, yes, Gat. It was no surprise the merchant, Adder's patron, and his mute daughter were two of the most despised people in the city. In spite of the incredible variety of antiquities and smithery that the merchant had for sale, no one ever bought a single thing. And there are plenty of reasons for that. Even Adder had some serious doubts about working for an old barhand man whose fur was redder than blood, and an albino smith that insisted on dyeing her hair green. The fact that they worked independently from Ireland's Traders Guild probably has something to do with it, too. Hayseed Knight Discord made fun of me for it. I mean, I would also be... I'd be there with you, but I'd also be like, yeah, I deserve this bullying. The fact they worked independently from Earlim's Traders Guild probably had something to do with it, too. In any case, it was well after noon, and they hadn't done anything but sit around the whole day. Adders pressed his lips together and began drumming his fingers against the floor. He looked askance at Aina, hoping his subtle call for attention had stirred her curiosity, but there was no answer. He'd have to be the only one to actually break the silence as usual.
So, hey, Aina. I bet you're still wondering just what in the world can make a hard-working buck like this one get here so late this morning.
Anna stopped hitting the rock with the blade. She barely moved her eyes towards Adder.
Well, buckle up, because there's a whole story there.
I'm trying to send...
This gotta stay between you and I. But, this morning
Adrian, I'm trying to send LH, but Twitch won't let me. Yeah, if you start anything with a slash command, it thinks it's a how to put it? It's supposed to be a mod action. I saw a beast. I ran through a wall. I saw a gazelle. Oh man, would Aina care? I ran through a wall. I don't think she would care. I saw a beast. I don't think any of this she would care. I think the only reaction you'd get is I saw a gazelle.
I saw a gazelle. But not any gazelle. No, ma'am. She was the fanciest gazelle girl I've ever seen. And there she was in the slums, strutting her hip-shaking, earthquaking, heart-melting butt.
Jesus Christ, Adder! We are saving. If Aina murders you at this very second, I'm telling you right now, you have every right to die. Aina's inquisitive gaze suddenly made Adder very conscious of his own words and thought. Adder was certainly not used to having her pay attention to him when he spoke.
But ugly face!
No!
She just ran away because she was so awful. Ugh, yuck.
Adder could feel how Aina's lilac eyes stared at his very soul, piercing a hole with the questions that she meant to ask. Why, it was such an intense look that he felt flustered. With her usual silent demeanor, Aina brought her two gloved hands in front of her face. She balled them both into a fist, raising just her index fingers. Then she lifted them as they rested on her forehead like tiny horns.
Horns?
With a quick motion, she took her horns to her mouth, biting them.
I ain't no gosh darn friggin' horny, okay? I like toes!
The best way to define Aina's smile at the precise moment would have been terrifyingly mean. While her bad temper was known and feared among other merchants, it was unusual for her to be so acidic, especially towards Adder. Our dear boy couldn't help but notice his change. He wasn't going to keep it to himself, of course.
You're acting real ugly, boss.
The smile on her face vanished, replaced instead by a grimace. In response to this affirmation, Aina merely shifted her gaze back to the blade and resumed her task, pretending she hadn't heard him. The game did something to me because I see myself in every Adder slip-up. Oh, Adrian! Almost as bad as them not letting me send smiley faces normally. No, I hate it. I love using like the :O, right? Just as a normal O, but I hate the emoji that they put in for it instead, you know? Okay, maybe I don't see myself in the fantasy racism too much. Good time zone, Boomsday! But if Adder had known for one thing, it was his incessant need to stick his nose in everyone's business.
What's wrong, Aina?
A wrinkle formed over her nose as she focused on keeping calm, but Adder didn't get the message.
Come on, don't just keep everything to yourself. You know there ain't a single thing in the whole of Dakna you can't tell me.
No sooner he finished that sentence, Aina slammed the dagger she was sharpening against the ground, effectively sinking its tip in it.
Right. I know there ain't a single thing you can tell me either. This is one of them metaphors things Gaff loves. He says that a hushed mouth ain't got nothing on an open heart.
Aina got up all of a sudden, her face red in anger. Oh, sorry. I believe that is a delivery. BRB. We're gonna go to a little breaky. Opa. right, I think I got my delivery. Okay. Well, if I'm correct, I think it's just a bunch of heavy cream. Geoff should try shush mouth more often. Yee. All right, let me take some water.
There's so much phlegm today.
All right, back to the gum. Adder was preparing himself mentally for the beating that he expected would ensue. But instead, she just plopped down on the ground, sitting with her back turned against his. Our dear Buck was puzzled to say the least. But Aina didn't even make a sound. She just sat behind him, completely still and hidden from the public eye. Of course, the possibility of getting whacked in the head is now more real than ever, so Adder didn't even attempt to guess why she would ever do that.
What was the patron thinking?
Well, he probably didn't expect you two to play, hide and seek in the stall.
Hi? Adder and Anna immediately jumped away from each other, doing their worst best attempt at looking half professional. A thunderous laugh resonated over the ruckus of the market.
Kilogram?
It's respectable Illigra Buntalos to you, boy.
Ashley Barbier home, switching to computer. Computer, no, you can go, it's okay, it's okay, Adrian, you're good, do it. Go to your computer.
But please, don't hold back on my account. I'll just look the other way.
Hello?
What?
Oh my god. And so appeared the man that was so red it would seem he'd stolen all the color his daughter's was lacking.
Patron!
Ah, so he gets the respectful treatment and I don't. I see how it is.
Oop.
What's that salacious doll cop doing to my daughter now?
They're just strengthening their ties of friendship. Ah, or is this a budding love?
Do you remember the Gravity Falls episode where Dipper got the fancy voice? I think of that every time I see Illigraph. I don't remember that episode, actually. I should look back at Gravity Falls again. It's been a while. The merchant shook his cane, hitting Illigraf's twiggy leg with a loud thunk. The tree man just wiggled his mustache in response.
Whoa! Hold up. We weren't doing anything, patron.
Sorry, Illigraf, A-cab and all, you'd understand. It is Pride Month, I'm just saying. Oops.
That's the problem, you cumberground! You lighter sack! You!
A coughing fit saved Adder from more old-timey insults which he could barely comprehend. Oh, I cut it off at the cough, my bad. Once he recovered, the merchant put his bearded face next to Adder's, resting the tip of his cane on Adder's chest. He opened his toothless mouth slowly, and his breath reeking more like bleach than liquor. Oh, that's
You
weird.
haven't sold a single thing, have you?
Now, that's hardly their fault, Red.
I'm sure this Yeltsin was just frolicking with my daughter as usual!
I just had the most Mura Papa experience. What are you talking about, Mura?
She's old enough to frolic as she pleases.
She hasn't even come of age yet!
Of course she hasn't. There's no way for her to pass that right.
Of course there is! She just needs to open her mouth and stop being an idiot!
The only idiot here is the one talking, patron. Aina's just mute.
I wish that rub off on you! Then maybe you'd learn to keep your mouth shut when adults are talking!
I feel for Aina right now.
But I did pass the coming of age right, sir! I got them adult horns and...
Shut up!
Oh man.
Don't you have anything to say about this, insolent child? Aina?
She walked away while you two were arguing.
Then why didn't you say so sooner, you overgrown sapling?
She looked like she needed it.
This is all your fault! And yours!
He stabbed Adder's nose with the tip of his finger.
What did I do?
That stupid child's been acting up since you first arrived!
Don't blame the poor boy. She's always had an attitude, and you know it.
I don't care! You two'd better go bugger off somewhere else, or I swear to Arab that I'll hit you so hard that you'll be cropping out your teeth for a week!
Damn, these insults. Both Adder and Ailegrab winced at that. Mura, I handled him in my empty mug yesterday to wash it, and I couldn't find it. You know where it was? In the laundry basket? Wait. Handled him? Handled what? Hello, not fellow classmates, Keith. How you doing? I handed him my empty mug yesterday to wash it, and I couldn't find it. You know where it was? Oh! Pat, Mura, pat. I'm only drinking my coffee now. No worries, I get it. If that man is not ADHD, I don't know who is. You're right. You're so right.
Now hold up, what?
Come on, Adder. Those two clearly want some alone time. And he'll have plenty of that when I leave him tied to the pyre next time I find a mob outside the shop.
Okay, Ailegrab, you're pretty cool. Ailegrab took Adder by the cape and lifted him off the ground as they walked away. It didn't take Ailegrab long to notice Adder's unusual reticence to speak.
Please, don't let Red's words affect you. He's, worse today. There's a storm coming from the west, and it's making us old people nervous.
No, the patron can preach and holler all he want. That don't bother me much.
Dang it, be like that, huh? No, for real. So I know normally I don't do games on stream, and I'm trying to change that eventually. And then even more so, normally I do ones where I'm able to voice like multiple characters and just have fun with it. But I was given this key by Maxi Molina, solo developer of the Hayseed Knight, aka this game, and I was like, you know what? It's Pride Month. I was promised A, hot deers, and B, queer deers. So you know what? Let's go. How could you walk in the kitchen, enter bathroom on the way, and just put stuff in the laundry basket and just leave? I mean, whatever works for the ADHD brain, just saying.
I mean, I don't cry anymore, at least. What he said to Aina, though? Now that's going 2 paces past the league too far. So what if she can't swear the oath thing? The 3 won't get mad at her for being mute. And anyway, Aina don't gotta pass no right. It ain't like she's getting married any day soon, right?
There. Got it all out of your system, boy?
You know what? All this stuff I'm saying means radish stew if I don't say it to her face. I gotta find her and make sure she's all right.
Ailegrab didn't reply to the last affirmation. He placed Adder carefully on the ground and patted his cape to straighten it.
Well, in that case, I have to go back to keeping watch on the fair. So, this is where we say goodbye for today. Hey, I'll send someone to fetch you if I see her, okay?
Adder nodded resolutely. They waved goodbye to each other. And then the book just stood there, wondering where to start looking when the soak felt like half a league from gate to gate. Assuming she was still in the soak at all.
Finally! I thought that fluffy bastard was never leaving.
Geoff walked onto the scene with a huge smile as the giant disappeared in the distance.
Afternoon, Mr. Bard.
Yeah. Wait, I think I already submitted a code? It was already booby. Well, here's the thing. I just cleared out the stuff for this upcoming month. So the stuff that you submit now, Zaxberbrack, will be for July, not for June. June's still in the middle of the process of making the palettes. So whatever you submitted earlier was the only one that's in the log at the moment. Yeah.
Oh, lad, what a face.
Well, see, it's a long...
Not a word. Thy mien speaketh clearer than thy tongue doeth. You're hungry.
Nah, I ain't in the mood to.
Well, I am. And I can't play a song when my stomach's growling a gazelle. Let's get some fried leaves.
Sorry, Bard, I ain't got time for any of that. I gotta go look for Aina. She just ran away angry as all get out, and I know darn well if I don't go check up on her, no one's gonna.
And I thought my songs were monothematic.
Yoff picked his strings at the of his ode one by one, deep in thought, while Adder just paced around.
I know just the place to look.
Gazelle? My English just left my body. I'm pretty sure it has another meaning to it. But, I'ma let it go, because there's a lot of words in here that I'm like, haha, do I know English? Not anymore! Yoff expertly snuck through the crowds, moving with such ease that he seemed to be little more than a shadow. Adder did his best to keep up with him, though that was hardly an easy task when he was one head taller than most other deer. Stomach growling gazelle? Someone is obsessed with deer. The place Gyaff was looking for wasn't in the plaza itself, surrounded by stalls and all their merchandise, but rather on one of the many alleys that led to the soak. The crowd there was bustling with life as well, but not in quite the same manner. They were all rowdy deer, pushing and cheering. A Karnme alley. Karnme alleys were very different from the official sort. While killing was still very much frowned upon, there was no chivalry and no one set of rules. There's no way of knowing if the horns you were being gored with were hygienic. There were punches and kicks and all sorts of cheats. It was chaos. And for that and several other reasons, Aina was a huge fan of unofficial Karnme. Sadly, as much as Adder jumped and pushed and yelled, she wasn't anywhere to be found.
Alas, your fair maiden is in another alley.
Adder cast a long glance over the improvised battlegrounds, attempting to find her one last time.
That's too bad. Aina kicked some serious ass here.
Good thing she's not allowed to fight.
Yeah, hey, no way they're gonna let it go.
A golem, Adder.
Yoff cast a very serious look in his direction. This wasn't the first time they'd had this discussion, and it wouldn't be the last.
How many times do I gotta tell you? Aina is not a golem, Kay? She's a doe. It's just she's a bit of a weirdo.
Weirdo. Right. Tell me, Adder dearest, how many albino does can you name off the top of your head that can lift your heavy butt with just one hand?
I remember I once thought I was super good at English and learned that not one of the humans and otherwise on this planet are Ego Chosu.
Aina! Now let's go! We gotta find her!
Why do I even bother? Look at her. Golem or not, she's just a little cabbage head hiding in the crowds of this enormous city. She's damn good at hiding. And do you know why people hide? Uh-huh.
'Cause they don't want to be found.
Yoff extended his arms towards him in dramatic manner, remarking how correct he was.
You're not gonna find her. So why don't you go and use your thick skull for something useful, like bringing us money so we can have dinner for once.
Yoff pointed at the ring with his horns, and Adder knew better than to insist. With a heavy sigh, Adder nodded and began walking towards the ringmaster.
Ah, wait, there's just one more thing. Your bag of coins. You wouldn't want to lose what little we have to the hands of, say, some ill-intentioned crook, now would you?
Better the evil you know, right?
Yoff extended his hand a bit too keenly, waiting for Adder to find the purse he usually hid within his sash. But...
Whoa, Bard. You're really gonna bust the gut laughing.
Don't tell me you lost it.
Alrighty then.
Yoff's scrawny body trembled like a branch about to snap off.
Just go.
Oh, ho, ho.
All right. See that sweaty blackhead over there with the glistening fur and a charming smile? That's your foe.
Also, someone needs to suplex this bard through the sun. I do not like his cut of chib. No, no, sir, not a one.
I'll go place my bet now. Are you feeling like a winner, ladder?
Charmin. Oh, hold up. You mean the guy with them sharpened horns? Oh, darn, Bard. Your confidence in this poorly put together row is much appreciated, but as much as it hurts me, and it does, I think I'd rather go to bed hungry today.
What?
What if it hits me in the face? I don't want to go from out of the one-eyed to out of the no-eyed.
Then do enlighten me, my boy, on how in the name of the Hatsa do you pretend to become a knight if you can't handle even a rack pointed at you?
I mean, I could handle racks pointed at me, if you know what I'm saying.
No wonder you can't even catch a hint, yellow piece of mangy venison.
All right, you need to back off there, yo.
Sorry about that.
What are you mumbling there, Goff?
I said I'm going to walk you through this. So, oh, help me three if you mess up.
Hey, let this tar win. And a girl, you sure eat your veggies. But all the sticks on your forehead, I can't fool anyone.
May all the bard's fries be cold, limp, and unsalted.
If he's serious, this is gonna be easier than I'd thought.
Wait, there's a fight coming up! Holy horns, you have to tell me everything about it! What kind of fighting style did Adder use? Was it antler rattling? He was a rattler, right? Did he prefer grappling or thrusting? Or was he more of a brawler instead? Swish, swish, bam! Punching them right in the... Wait, did they even have any hand reps his size?
Give me a moment. I think I have to sneeze. What were any of those words? I don't really know the rules of karma. I just thought you had to hit people until they fainted. Oh, gods. Nothing I come up with is going to live up to her expectations. I can't deal with the pressure. Ah! You said you knew the knight like the palm of your hand, didn't you? The new bearer of a tale of this magnitude should be able to pen a memorable fight scene all on their own if that's the case. Prove you're worthy of your name, Lynn.
Oh my god, you're right! Yes, this is my moment to shine! Leave it to me!
Yes, good. I shall go and leave you to it as if to not influence you.
Let's see, what would the knight do? Right! He needed a few tips first. So Gyoff took Adder aside and held him under his arm. He said, Adder, mine lad, 'tis a dangerous fight that awaits us. But if not in the strength of thy body, I believeth in the strength of thine heart. What would thee saith is the greatest feat a fighter should at each moment striveth for? Well, diggity yee-haw, Bard! What a tootin', rootin', mighty fine question that is! Adder nodded thoughtfully to himself and then continued, I reckon that would be...
Honor?
Honor, as expected of a knight, dearest friend. Thou shalt be a rattler then. Ah, honorable style amongst honorable styles. The way our ancestors squareth, where two deer shalt proveth the might of their horns, rather than that of their mind.
Are you winning, son? Hey, Maxie, how you doing? How was your Chinese lesson? All my homies hate the bard. We're all hating on the bard, apparently. We're all hating Gyoff, sorry. We nicknamed him Gat. Sorry.
But hoy, Bard! Yelped Adder. Mine horns are so teeny tiny. Gyoff smirked. This is where your strength lieth, mine Adder. There is an advantage to short horns, thou see. No one shalt be able to lock their horns around yours to grapple thee to the ground. Your advice is ne'er unwise, Gyoff. This is why I love you so daringly dearly.
Bard hating hours. You're so right, Keith.
Adder, you beautiful boar. Everyone will find out if thou keepeth talking so loud. We mustn't. Let the whole world bask in the warmth of our passion. Oh, Adder. Smooch, smooch, smoochy, smoot.
Lynn, how's that scene going?
It's going.
Adder found himself alone at last. His dearest friend lost to the blurry tides of people surrounding the ring. Veins were starting to pop in his eye, making it even harder to see anything except the stag waiting in front of him. The deer with sharp horns smirked in his drunken haze, clearly looking down on Adder. It wasn't the first time someone pitied him and lived to regret it, as the drunkard would soon learn. The ringmaster looked left and right, making sure that both fighters knew what they were about to get into. He lifted his hand carefully as he stepped back, and then... Go! He screamed with a hand chop. Charge. Absolutely charge. Yeah, get it! Get him! This was no time to hesitate. Both the bro and his opponent rushed towards each other headfirst, heeding the scream of ancient instinct that boiled in their bloods. Every voice in the alley fell silent once the deer slammed into each other, horns singing a threatening melody as they rattled fiercely in a never-ending battle for dominance. The tension could be cut with a knife as their foreheads pushed against each other, but Gyof's advice proved unerring. Indeed, as much as he tried, the bigger deer could not intertwine his antlers around Adder's short, straight ones. Now what? The answer was clear, of course. A barrage of swift punches to the other deer's face would have sent his brain bouncing all over his skull. It would have been an obvious choice, to anyone deer swords horns, to any honorless ruffian. Back, also, God, so many people are streaming today. It's amazing. It's okay. I'm gonna be real. I think it's because you got several factors in here, right? Which is why I'm pretty sure I'm probably not gonna be not many people are gonna come by here because it's also Switch 2 just came out. Deltarune just came out. I can't remember what else just came out, like some big news and whatnot. So there's a lot of people who want to do gaming and streaming, so you could experience it with them. Not that that's a bad thing or anything. I was planning to stream today anyways, but yeah, no, it's pretty positive around right now. Refusing to even consider such lowly tactics, our hero decided to take the moral high ground, and the physical too. Tired of this pointless dance, the deer pushed Adder back with a swift head movement. Before Adder had a chance to react, his foe slammed his head just below the roe's chest, knocking all the air out of him and lifting him right off the ground with ease. Color hating on streamers, can't believe it. Look, man, look, I'm not hating, I'm just saying I got my reasons for understanding why streamers do the streaming thing. Gonna have so many VODs to enjoy while you laundry. Hell yeah. Well, I'm glad that despite so many people going around that you decided to stick in this one, Adrian. Thank you. I appreciate that. And to all my lurkers out there, also appreciate you guys. I won't call you out, just letting you know that I appreciate you all for being here. It's been rough. Silk Song soon, guys. Trust. Silk Song soon. Oh my god. Adder flailed one free arm and legs most valiantly, but there was little he could do in such a compromising position, worn out as he was trying to uphold his honor as a brave warrior with such direct approach. And crack! I could not tell if that was the sound of Adder's neck or Adder's teeth as his face hit the ground at full speed. But little did that matter, for nothing lay more broken than his dreams. Oh, Adder! Adder, no! You're dead. To everyone? Think it over. After such a shameful defeat, the writer decides to take a page from Adder's book, literally. She began writing these words as a means to stall her own anxiety as she tried to understand how she managed to dig herself in such a narrative hole. She had certainly made a mistake somewhere. It was obvious to her prodigious mind that a boy so preoccupied with doing what was good and true and right would hardly be willing to do whatever it took to stand victorious and carve a space for himself in the annals of history. Annals of history, sorry. Our wonderful narrator started to realize that perhaps she had misunderstood something about Adder, for she could picture no scenario where a well-meaning, upstanding street fighter could ever get past his first night in Slander District. Gesundheit. Oma Lindibili of Asgadaz, true descendant of the Knight, decided to revisit her decision, thinking more deeply about what kind of priorities her ancestors would have. We're not talking about what... We're not talking... Hello, I'm a family-friendly streeter! Stop this! Hey, yo, what we playing? Hello, Insomniac. Insomniac Imelda. Sorry, Imelda. we are playing the Hayseed Knight. Maxi Molina, as you see down there in the chat, is the sole developer of this game. And you see, normally I would be drawing, but my arm is literally swollen right now that it's really hard to draw. I can only rest my wrist on my table, and my arm has to kind of like stay out there flailing in the open. Because if I move it via drawing, it starts like being really weird. You ever have like weird arm sores? It's really messed up. Anyway, we're playing this wonderful visual novel. The best visual novel you never played, apparently. Cycling Cellist, hello! I'm here for the hot deer. Heck yeah! Feel better soon. It's about the third day now. I put some tiger balm onto it. It should like ease up a little bit. It's the swelling's gone down significantly, but the source of it is still kind of strong, if that makes sense. Yeah, take care of yourself. Like, genuinely, I hate it because I'm like, guys, it was a stupid mosquito, but my body is so allergic to a particular kind of mosquito that it swells up my entire arm. Like, if that mosquito didn't bite me, I'd be fine. It's so dumb, guys. It's so dumb. But thank you. I appreciate the taking care of yourself. You guys take care of yourself too, okay? Victory question. We said honor last time, so now it's just victory, right?
So thou art a brawler, dearest friend. I have indeed taughteth you well. There is no honor in death. If thine horns will not aid you in battle, use those hands the gods gave you. Pummel them to the ground. Thou shalt win this fight and prevail until the next. But hoy, bard! Yelped Adder. Mine hands are so bogglingly big! Yuff smirked. All the better to swat their faces away. If they trieth to thrust towards thee with their large horns, thou shalt only need to slap them into the ground. Stand victorious over those who would hurt you, mine Adder.
And then they smooched again, but quietly. We're gonna do a little save dance, right? Save! Popaja, popaja. Boo, mosquitoes suck. Pun intended. You're so right, Cycling Cellist. This is why I'm so afraid of bugs. It's Japan. It's Japan, man. Japan mosquitoes are built something different. They literally have an entire section dedicated to like how to put it, mosquito prevention section. It's a thing. It's a thing. I need to get a little better with bugs if I ever want to move El Salvador one day to live with family. Not right now, though. Pat, 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 pat. Adder found himself alone at last, his dearest friend lost to the blurry tides of people surrounding the ring. Veins were starting to pop in his... we spoke this earlier. Alright, okay, cool. Deer sharp horns, da-da-da, soon learn, ba-ba-ba-da-ba, go scream with a hand shot. Let's wait. Let's be... not charge. The towering deer charged towards Adler like a runaway fur, horns lined ready to slam into him with the full force of Macadar stampede. But the road didn't move a single muscle. Adder merely waited, silencing all the voices that screamed at him to run and die. He didn't even assume the step-rider stance. He just waited, closing his eyes lest the sight of his incoming enemy would betray his nerve. And when the time was right... grapple him? I don't know. At this point, I'm just like, I'm waiting for him to just die by my choices. Let's see what happens. Adder opened his arms wide, mentally prepared and ready for the coming attack. Or so he thought. This is where he dies again, isn't it? Deer slammed in Adder's stomach, nearly sending him to the ground with a single well-placed blow. And when Adder seemed lost, he managed to stand his ground, rapidly holding onto the foe's horns. Whee! Adder's foe smirked. By the time our hero realized he had fallen into the trap, his whole body is hovering several arms over the ground. The Garrett strikes back. What a foul move! He would have turned Adder into a strand if the yellow deer had its singles bite worth of meat in his body. Indeed, Adder was nothing more than a hungry fawn who wanted nothing more than to go back home and hide. His life was a constant fight to find mere scraps, and yet this boy would someday become the greatest knight that Alcazar has ever known. But to reach such heights that awaited him, he had to live another day. Surviving isn't always the most honorable path, but it's the path we choose in this house! At first there was silence, then roaring laughter, and trots and jeers. The drunk deer needed a moment to realize that they were being directed at him. Reached down to pull up his pants as best he could, hastily hurling Adder away from after his dirty trick. Still holding his foe's belt, Adder fell in his massive hands, barely managing to keep his head over the ground to avoid a shameful defeat after he'd already stooped so low. Wow, grabbed his pants, nice! His foe was distracted. What now? Flying roundhouse kick? Your legs are scrawny, I'm sorry, you're gonna taunt him. Well aware of the direness of the situation and nullness of his pride, Adder declared that he had nothing to lose anymore. He may as well go down in flames. Our protagonist called out to his opponent, loudly mocking him as he jumped from hand to hand, making a fool out of both. Yeah, my stream list is awesome, sandwiched between MK Worlds and Deltarunes, which, to be clear, both games look great. Yeah! And in this stream and a new Pokemon Snap stream. Yay! I'm glad someone's still playing Pokemon Snap in this day and age. Hell yeah. Love the background character expressions. Right? Right? Flying roundhouse kick? Bro gonna try and hit Tatsumaki with those legs? The drunk deer turned around, red in shame and fury. He swore, enraged, and charged towards Adder once more, overlooking the tiny little fact that his pants were still down. The whole alley watched in silence as Adder's foe fell These words prove to me that I don't know English, okay? I'm doomed. I'm so doomed. I'm gonna fail English. Steele's gonna look at me and be like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry my blobby wife cannot understand how to speak the language that I teach. Obstreperously. To the ground, butt out and everything. Our protagonist stared blankly ahead as he got up. His expression was unreadable as that of the public. It was pretty clear that this was a victory of sorts. Yeah, but no one was saying anything. Obstreperously is such a good word. I feel so... There's so many words in here that are so niche that I'm just kind of like, damn, I need to whip out a dictionary. Obstreperous? Obstreperously. After a few uncomfortable harumps, the ringmaster scratched the back of his head, looked around vehemently, and then proceeded to kindly pull up the drunkard's pants before screaming, "Down!" Sorry, I speak better English than all of you, I guess. I mean, Maxie? Maxie, says the one who didn't know how to pronounce solder. You can't get out of this. I'm sorry. And so, Adder emerged victorious, winning the fight on his own terms. Questionable and messy as they may be, and living to see another day. No, I agree, because he's talking to people who thought it said Gyat. Look, for all my brain says that man's name is Gat, okay? He may not have any, but he gat it. It's not my fault y'all pronounce solder like utter. I've used that word, it's just been like 10 years. Wait, so he wins?
Of course he wins. He's the knight, you doof.
Right. Never mind then. Well done, Lynn.
I'm pretty great, yes.
Now, what's this torn page you're trying to hide behind your back?
Wait, don't!
Oh, so, anyway. Woo!
I can't believe it! Still alive and kicking! Come on, show me the money, Bard! I want to bite every single coin!
Hi, Naze. Get him!
I completely forgot to place the bet.
Yat! Damn it! Gav covered his face with his hands, making some sort of unintelligible noise that could only be described as the very sound of anguish.
Hey, Big Ed, I want to learn some tips too. I'll buy you dinner.
Hey now, sir! You really think you're gonna steal my manager away, so...
Gav shut out his snout with one hand.
My dear boy, you sure gave it all today, so why don't you go and enjoy what's left of the fair? I have a gig in the tavern later. Money, yes. Don't expect me tonight.
With that, Gaff hurriedly I'm just gonna call him Gat from now on. Hurriedly shooed the very confused Adder away.
Now kiss! Kith!
Our protagonist wandered back towards the increasingly empty and silent plaza, unsure of where he was headed next. His victory had been but a brief rush against mediocrity, and now that he was alone, his mind sought the comfort of a familiar place, a seething pit in his chest. No, he had no business there. Adder had spent through enough in nights hungry and alone to learn to eat his emotions for dinner, but still his stomach protested, demanding to know when their next meal would arrive. He would only walk a little further to chase those thoughts away. No matter how resilient he was, he would eventually get tired and stagger his way back home, fall asleep in his little corner, dream a sleepless dream, and wake up to a drunk Geoff crashing in. He'd head off to work and Aina would get him some food. That's right. He held no doubt in his heart that his boss would come back. What had he made such a fuss for? Aina never missed a single day of work in the whole year he'd been working for her. And anyway, she was way stronger than him. What could he do? He had no reason to say grand words or worry like he did. He never had. The sparse groups of citizens and visitors all around him still celebrated this blessed days. Dances and melodies and pastries a drifter from down yonder these steps would never be allowed to take part in. Oh.
Yum, emotions. Tasty? What do emotions taste like?
Adrian, also I haven't confessed to anyone, but this game was my first VN since Lovers of Aether. You can tell where my interests lie. Furries! Points! Furry! I read a lot of books for college classes. I need a break in my free time from them. Lemon? Make lemonade? This was just another empty day in the life of Adderson, son of Jerfaz. Jerfaz? I don't know, man. I can't read names. Ooh, pretty. An abrupt lapse of lucidity made Adder turn his head away from his hooves at last. His ears perked up and his fur stood on end as he tried to make sense of the careless trip he'd just taken. The music was deafening all around him, the crowd untraversable. He didn't know how far he'd walked or how he managed to make some space for himself, but it was obvious now that he'd stumbled onto some sort of performance. The stage where this whole city would be looking. What a dream. But a remote voice in the back of his thoughts told him he didn't have time to find out what kind of show could attract such a crowd. That was not where it's supposed to be. He knew his gut hadn't been lying to him when he caught sight of a small, flickering light coming from a discreet tent, around which the crowd seemed oddly absent. His eyes wouldn't budge away from that curious flame shining in the dark. He sensed his offer, warm and loud. Adder didn't consider for 1 second that he may have been too hungry to think straight. He ignored all the warnings common sense would have taught him and marched straight into the tent. Dusk was still a ways off, but it may as well have been midnight inside. Adder combed the darkness desperately, startled by the sudden change in illumination. Sweet, frightful clarity once more. What in the name of the Hatsa was I thinking? Oh, he's got the little southern drawl. He pondered in his breathless silence as his mind started conjuring bandits, assassins, and monsters, ready to tear his capes into pieces and fashion toothpicks out of his horns for having been so reckless. But he didn't get to fret too long. His fears were interrupted by the birth of a flame in the corner of his sight. Its flare grew with unmeasured force, blinding him for a moment. He struggled to regain his vision, fearing those foes that only lived in his mind. Foes he wouldn't face today, either. Don't you also get a southern drawl from hunger? I don't know, partner. Bathing the light, an orb was filled with fire, shaded in ways that made no sense whatsoever, awaited a silhouette. A very recognizable silhouette.
Took you long enough.
Oh, hi. Of course it was her.
Yeah, it's not a living!
And all of a sudden, Adder wished he'd found a bandit instead. At least he would have felt justified in the terror that rooted his feet so firmly to the ground then. The boy remained immobile, eye fixed on the woman in front of him, following the million glitters the ruby necklace hanging from her neck reflected all over, dragging his attention right back to the extravagant spread of finely woven silks, so carelessly tousled on her hair. Addison was never much of an analytical boy in his day-to-day, but he became quite the sleuth when it came to attempting to pinpoint the line of work a dress revealed, and without revealing nearly a single thing, this one managed to have him at a complete loss. It was a pressing question he might have been too polite to ask, had the lump in his throat not taken care of that issue for him.
Don't just stand there. Take a seat.
Thanks, I did it a little last day before releasing the game. Pat Maxie.
I don't know. I've been sitting on my tail all day, and I got places to go, and I don't usually share tents with ladies, and...
Judging by her glare, she wasn't going to take no for an answer.
What am I saying? It'd have been mighty ugly of me to reject an invitation.
Ada did as asked and sat down on one of the many pillows lying on the ground. Pretending to be crazy, escaping, begging the gods for mercy, breaking down and claiming that he wasn't, in fact, a horn eater, that this was just a mistake and he shouldn't be here. Ada's mind was bustling with ways of getting out of that situation. Ada did... God dang it. So, of course, whenever his mind was busy, his mouth was free to speak as it pleased. Oop, did I click a button randomly?
Hi.
That's a good idea. Save! I gotta save. There we go. He spoke with a voice more akin to that of a fawn whose antlers are just beginning to sprout than that of a fully grown deer. Nice place!
Nice place you got here. I like your cushions.
Hello, Bethrarion. How you doing?
These cushions over here and over there, and they sure are comfy. What are they made of? They gotta be the comfiest cushions ever. Can I bounce on them, ma'am?
Please don't.
I'm gonna take a lot of water right now.
Okay, but I'm talking about your cushions, not your cushions, all right? Not gonna bounce on either. Just want to make that crystal clear.
Well, but yeah, I've been here though, says Bretharion. I mean, I could still say hey to you. It's been, what, an hour since you were here? I could say hey. I will not make a raunchy joke. I forgot the game made it for me. There you go, yay! Nays, cushions are great. We all need more in our lives. Cushions, yes. I am sorry, everyone. I just cannot expect myself to buy any more plushies. But cushions, more doable. A mocking chuckle stabbed Adder's heart, feeling even more self-conscious than he thought he was capable of. He held onto his hooves and fixed his gaze on the ground, screaming inside as his face burned.
So it wasn't the contusion after all. You're just like that.
Like what now?
You brought plushies? How many? Well, that's the thing. I used to have so many that I could barely sit on my bed, and I gave them all away when I moved to Japan, but people still gift me a lot of plushies, so I'm trying to find ways to put them around. The only plushies I actually want to buy are ones that I find significant. So my life-size Gibble plushie, life-size Dragapult, and my giant Kirby sleeping plushie that's about half the size of my body.
Funny.
Funny? Me? Not one bit, ma'am. I ain't got a funny bone in my body. Doc and I ain't never seen worse jokes than Adder scenes.
Oh, Adrian, I haven't updated that in a while, actually. So it's technically easier to see my more recent stuff on my Blue Sky. But feel free to check that out if you want to see some of my older works.
Hold up. Didn't that sound like a poem just now? Well, darn. A poem ain't nothing but a dull song, Mr. Bard always says so. I'd hate to bore a fine lady such as yourself, so I better get...
On the contrary, I'm looking forward to your next bout of unsolicited poetry. Would you define any other parts of me as too much?
Jasif took her thumb onto the outer curve of her left horn, tracing it in a slow, deliberate motion. Oh my,
I
man!
don't see what horns got to do with anything here.
I didn't say anything.
I didn't say you said I said it. But I don't want you thinking I'm scared of, want me to say you're pretty again? Because I could just say that. I mean, you're gorgeous, you see? That's no skin off my back.
So you really meant my beauty.
Ma'am!
It's okay. Leave your secret with me. I won't tell. After all, everyone thinks the same about Jasif in private.
Ada couldn't help thinking that maybe Jasif thought a bit too highly about Jasif, as if she knew Jasif when talking about Jasif. But when he made a point not to say that out loud, since the situation was already bad enough as it was,
I'll take your word for it, ma'am.
a deep silence filled the tent. Ada cursed his luck and his good manners. He wanted to run away and hide, fearing what otherwise he'd commit a big mistake. The kind of mistake that would get him cancelled. Wow. I am clearly not in the right mind frame here. That get him called a horn eater for the rest of his life, which will then get him cancelled. Ha! Saved it.
Well then, it was sure nice to see you again, but...
Would you like to know your fortune?
Ada turned on his heel, desperate to find out if her offer was indeed true. There was nothing that betrayed a lie in her words, nor in her eyes.
Whoa! You're one of those gazelle fortune tellers? For real?
Let's just say they looked rather different back in Adderstown.
Well, slap my head and call me silly. I got you pegged all wrong, man. Darn right I'd love to hear it.
I mean, nope.
Oh,
Bad
hold
joke.
up. I lost my bag of coins. I ain't got a single dollar on me, so...
Something flew into the ground, right besides Adder's foot. Right besides Adder's foot. Right besides? Typo! I found the typo! Ha ha!
My bag?
You dropped it right after you crashed the first time. I meant to give it back, but since you were so bent on running through that wall...
You didn't steal from it, did you?
Steal what? It's just filled with rivets.
It's not a typo if I don't know what's wrong! English, it would be beside Adder's foot, not besides Adder's foot. Besides would mean like instead of, whereas beside would mean next to. It's so dumb. It's the dumbest thing. Don't worry about it. It's not that big a deal. I'm just being a little silly blob. Color pulls out a red pen and starts marking the screen. Dude, I probably could. I could. One of these days, I'll have a little thing where I could just make marks on the screen and be like, you see this? You see this right here? Color is grading my English essay. You have words I can't pronounce!
Aha! That means you opened it.
So much for wanting to see you again.
English is inherently dumb. No, English is stupid. It's so dumb. It's fine.
That was all. You can go now if you want.
A punch to the gut would have hurt Adder infinitely less than her words. What am I doing? He thought to himself, biting the inside of his cheek. No mere thief would have returned his bag, and sad as that was, no other person had ever gone so far for him. And so he sat down once more, looking at the finely yet peculiarly, I could the
peculiarly dressed woman in front of him with a mix of embarrassment, naivete, and just plain fear.
I don't suppose you accept rivets as payment.
That would depend on what you're paying for.
What's the grade so far, Colors? The grade is Maxie's much smarter than I am, and I'm just trying to be somewhat pompous about all of this. Whoops! I accidentally clicked buttons.
Getting my fortune told?
That was a replay button. Whoops.
Just keep them.
It's a Maxie out of Max. Deceive rested her arms over the crystal orb, leaning closer to Adder.
All right! Can you look into the ball thing and tell me how my mom and pa are doing? Did any of my little bros get married yet?
Oh, he's an older bro? That's really cute.
That's cute, but it's a reading glass, not a magic mirror.
Right. How about the weather? Can you give them good harvests?
Take your prayers to the temple.
Well, darn, that won't do either. Alrighty then, how about me? What do you see in this buck's future?
Your future? Why would you want to know anything about that? Life would be boring if you knew what waits around every corner. I'll read your past and justify your present.
But I already know those things.
I feel that.
I don't.
Adder was quite set on asking what she meant, but his brain shut down operations completely as the girl oh so casually decided to shuffle closer to him, a little lighter now around the shoulders without the cape weighing her down.
For example, we could talk about why you did what you did for me then, and figure out what I could do to return the favor now.
Her blue eyes spoke like an insinuating whisper. Her fingers walked over the cobblestone ground headed towards Adder's own hands as her face got ever so close.
I gotta insist, ma'am, that you definitely got the wrong buck. But even if I ever did anything nice for you in my life, a simple thanks is more than enough payment.
I used to scream anytime someone streamed the scene. What do you mean? What do you mean, Maxie?
I guess you could use a reminder too.
The soothsayer made no attempt to conceal her disappointment, much like no one ever made any attempt to explain to her what coming on too strong means. With apparent tedium, she grabbed the crystal orb and put it right between her face and Adder's. This time, she had no more pretensions than merely watching him.
Oh fire, tell me the secrets in the... Yada yada, stuff in Bazaktet. I don't feel like switching languages now.
Her complete lack of professionalism made Adder feel, for once, at ease. After all, what would he do if he was indeed in front of Sefi, one of those heinous Barhan wizards from far back in time? Cry? Beg? Try to escape? Wait, are those things... those were things he already thought of doing. As Adder was considering the subtle differences in the fears that he felt when talking to a girl and imagining being burnt to a crisp by a witch, she watched him. And she kept watching. And she watched some more. The gazelle lifted her head from behind the glass as she squinted her eyes into fine lines. Whatever she was looking for, she couldn't find. But she still ducked behind the orb once more, hoping to reach some kind of conclusion. Focus with such intensity that her eyebrows could have split her forehead in two, and she wouldn't have noticed. Deceive pressed her mouth to one side, wiggled her nose, and opened her eyes so wide at him that Adder couldn't help but laugh.
Shush, it's easier with two.
She mumbled the last part to herself, but Adder was sure she said eyes.
Oh, what's that? You ain't never done it with a one-eyed deer before?
Adder pressed his lips together like he wanted to make them disappear. Deceive merely rose an eyebrow. His accidental innuendo made him begin shaking from horns to hooves once more.
Screw this.
She pushed the orb away with an exasperated sigh. Before Adder knew what was going on, his face was in her hands and her face right in front of his.
I need to find out if it was you after all. Stay still.
A drumbeat in his ears. A drumbeat in his ears. That was Adder's heartbeat as she stared at him so intently. There was a lump in his throat. He did his best not to tremble. His eye began feeling heavy, though he tried to hold her gaze. She was muttering something, words about his past, but her voice became obscured by the noise of the bells, the crackling of the fire, the sound of her own eyelashes batting against each other.
It's really too sodding late to be dealing with pests like you. And yet, here we are, wasting my time and yours.
Hey, what's that supposed to...
Adder's complaint vanished at a spear point. 2 guards had replaced Gazelle, and one old, one complacent. And one old and complacent, and one young, eager, and inches away from stabbing his nose.
Just who do you think you are?
Who do you think I am?
That was Jace's voice. But as much as he tried to find her, Adder couldn't see her. In fact, he couldn't even move at all.
What? I won't fall for your bar and mind tricks, Gazelle.
I don't care if you're Hayseed or Haysood. Only nobles are allowed to walk the royal pathway. No exceptions.
Adder felt a lump in his throat as he unwillingly looked over the railings that he was leaning against.
I don't suppose you expect me to jump off the bridge.
The younger guard opened his mouth to reply, but his partner cut in line.
Can't you see that you're scaring her, you dimwit? Take a step back!
What? But she's trespass.
The younger guard got smacked in the head for his efforts.
Settle down, boy! You forgot to clean your ears this morning or what? She said she's Jasif. Jasif! This girl's far more than nobility, see? She's a queen. The queen of the desert rose, no less. Now that's what I call a fancy title.
Call it whatever you please. It won't change the fact I am the one and only Jasif, and you are a dear with good taste. You must have heard my name in 100 whispers. So, just imagine how terribly worried Miss Rochelle will be if her favorite girl doesn't make it home before dawn.
Old divorced man teaches you how to pronounce names in this world. I can't pronounce names worth anything.
Liar! There's no way the Desert Rose would have someone like you! Your kin shouldn't even be outside after curfew!
My kin? You mean gazelles who could buy your whole street?
So much for the open-minded youth. Forgive this fool, your majesty. He's so uptight I think he sat on his spear. I'm sure you know his kin. A fawn like him wouldn't know royalty if it spat in his face. He's got a point, though. Any gazelle could sneak up here and say she's a queen because she's the daughter of a goat with a bald spot on her head. You understand, right? We can't just take your word for it. Nothing personal, of course. It's just common sense. Here's a thought. Why don't you sway us with a little dance? I'm sure that Jasif would do anything for her subjects.
You know, you were okay at first, and now I'm kind of like very sus at you. No.
What are you saying, you numbskull? We're on duty, and she's not even a... three's sake! We should just drag her to the dungeon and end this nonsense!
Yeah, spare me the lecture, kid. Hey, do one of those bar and dance things. That'll shut him right up. You know, the one with the fire and the bells and the...
No. The older guard cupped his chest and pretended to dance as he cackled, much to the revulsion of everyone involved. Adder could feel the tip of his tongue scraping against his teeth, far smaller and more well-aligned than he'd ever remember them being. His patience was growing worryingly thin. Hello, Mayu, welcome! We're playing the Hayseed Knight. Thanks to Maxie being like, oh hey, here you go. If you want to play a game, do this one because your arm's kind of sore right now, so yeah.
I could dance for you, if you don't mind having an early cremation.
Huh? Was that a threat just now?
Not at all. I'm just pointing out that I'm not dressed for the occasion. It would be a pity if your face was to catch fire and your skin burst into flames, turning your bones to charcoal inside your blazing corpse while your ashes moldered up here. Just because I didn't have a fireproof shirt.
Right. Well, it doesn't look like you have any other way to prove your words, Your Majesty.
I suppose I don't, but I bet my good friend Illigrab could find a way to prove them for me.
And walk you all the way across the city on the off chance we find that fidget arse of a tree sitting at his desk? We don't get paid that much, little lady.
A victorious smile crossed Adder's face, opening at last.
Ah, I understand now. A discount isn't even remotely enough to cover the entrance cost of the Desert Rose on a poor, hard-working guard's salary, And that's not even adding the price of my performances.
The old guard's eyes shot open as if he felt a few coins slipping into his hand.
Don't worry. I'm sure there's some places down the street that are better suited to your taste.
He remained transfixed by the money a moment longer, until something seemed to click in his head all of a sudden.
Who do you take me for, scamp? We are honor-bound city guards. We won't get bopped by the likes of you.
Ugh, what? Come on! This was more than enough last time. Why isn't it working now?
The guards didn't react to that sentence at all. It was like they hadn't heard her when Jasif's voice sounded loud and clear in Adder's ears. That thought passed as soon as it came. The quick, anxious looks the old guard was directing at his partner became the new focus of Adder's attention. The moment they locked eyes, the answer he'd been looking for became evident.
Of course. I should have noticed sooner. He's a new recruit, isn't he? Look at him. So eager and uptight. So focused on proving his worth to the captain. So predictable. You couldn't possibly trust someone like him with a bribe. He's too different from your old partner. Of course.
Whoops, that was a replay.
But
There.
you couldn't trust that one either, could you? No, he knew too much. And he wasn't half as jaded as you are. His heart wasn't really in it. Ah, I see. You had a feeling he would end up going after you. So, you sold him out first. That's why he's here.
How did you?
What? So she's telling the truth? You take bribes?
No, well, maybe if it's enough. I mean, come on. It's just a goddamned bridge. What's the matter if we let rich people in at this point? They're no different from nobles. But I swear, I'd never gotten money from this. No, I'd never even seen this. Gazelle?
The guard's face contorted into a deeply wrinkled scowl. He looked beyond confused. Lost. The song was reaching its final notes.
Aw, looks like your friend has a bad case of guilty conscience. That's okay. I'm no one to judge. Just let me go this time. I promise I'll be a good girl and head straight home. You won't even know I've been here.
Adder started to walk, a little spring in his step at something he barely recognized as his tail wagged behind him. He felt above the moon, completely drunk from his power trip. But he was far from safe still. A strong hand clasped Adder's wrist tightly. This told him all he needed to know. That this body wasn't his body, and this mind wasn't his mind. Hello, Braun!
Could it have been? You are the Jesse, aren't you? You really could buy this whole street if you wanted. It was you! It was you all along! What did you do to me?
I only gave you money.
You gave me cursed money! No, you cast a spell on me!
What in the world are you rambling about now? You sound like a madman!
Yeah, that's right. I have gone mad. It's not my fault. I'm not really a crook. She's a Sephi. She must have charmed me to do all those bad things. We're on to you, witch. Confess!
Every last fiber of her body was screaming at her to run. Jasif knew each and every corner of the royal pathway. She could have just hidden somewhere or outran two guards wearing heavy armor. That was the correct option. It was obvious to her. But that was not the choice she had made. She pulled close to him and moved a smirk towards his ear instead.
I wouldn't waste any magic on you.
There wasn't any trace of fear in Jasif's mind as the guard grabbed her collar and pushed her against the railing. Not a speckle of resignation. It wasn't bravery either. There was nothing but anticipation. Adder didn't know the name of the eerie warmth that was creeping onto her chest as he watched the tip of his spear turn to him in slow motion. He had never felt anything quite so peaceful and thrilling before. But to her, this lost battle seemed to be worth as much as a victory. After all, she had been playing with fire her whole life. Getting burnt was eventually an eventuality that she's been ready to accept for years. She was tired of making choices. Fractions of a second before the end of her life could be sentenced, a scream shook the night.
Get your mitts off her, you creep!
Everyone turned to the ground and looked at the idiot yelling all the way down. Turned around, looking at the idiot yelling all the way down the ground.
Think you can just bother her last because she looks good enough for second helpings and then dessert? Well, you can't, all right? That's radish stew, and you'd make your mom cry if they knew. Let her go!
Adder had, most certainly, gone crazy.
What the? Oh, get lost, Sanford! This is official city business. It's got nothing to do with you.
City business, my ass! You're holding a gal up against the wall. I ain't got nothing to do with it, but it's still got everything to do with me. If it's so official, I'm gonna scream till the whole city wakes up and sees this.
No, you're not. Do something, rookie. Get rid of that drunkard.
What, you want me to throw my spear at some poor horn-eater now?
Who are you calling a horn eater?
He's got it all his
Just
life.
hold up there.
He's never gonna escape the allegations! Adder, the pudgy version of Adder that is, wasn't concerned with matters such as his complete lack of grace, agility, or strength. Moved by his sense of justice, he began climbing the column that led to the royal pathway. Adder could just say a word and have me crying. Adder's so freaking funny. Of course he never made. Oh, the poor best! This poor guy!
Hey! Are you still alive? Horny
Oh, poor kid. We can't just leave him to die all on his own. Guess he'll be jumping off the bridge yet, witch.
Puzzling as the scene was, Jasif realized that she didn't have another second to lose. With the guard's hand still firmly wrapped around her collar and pushing her back, Jasif threw all her weight on one leg, using her tail as leverage to complete a practice spin that ended with her knee sinking deep between the deer's legs. He immediately dropped to the ground, but it wasn't quite enough to knock him out.
You little.
That's enough. Let's go.
But she kicked me. And she's a witch. She's...
I have no clue what this gazelle is or what she's not, but I can tell just fine what you are. I'm not leaving you another second with her. Get that old ass back to the barracks or I'm telling Illigrab what you just did.
It was the older guard's turn to go pale. He lowered his helmet and began limping in the other direction. The younger guard, however, stood in front of her a moment longer.
You, go home and don't let me catch you up here again.
Jasif only allowed herself to breathe easy again once both guards had disappeared from sight. Pride filled her lungs faster than air.
Good riddance.
He wasn't quite out of the woods yet, but she decided to savor this victory, a moment of peace, which Jasif took to look over the railings one last time. Her wannabe savior now lay unconscious on the ground after hitting his head during the fall. And in spite of how miserable the scene was, Adder could feel a smile forming on her face. He finally understood that, crazy or not, he was seeing what she was seeing, the way she saw it.
Did I scare him good?
He's such a bean.
Huh? You're awake? How in the name of oblivion can you be conscious after a fall like that? You must be at least 5 stories high. Were we even trying to... No. That doesn't matter now. Are you hurt? Should I call a doctor?
Are you all right, ma'am?
No. No, I'm not hurt. So, yes, that was nothing. I'm fine. Thank you.
And that's all this book needs to feel fit as a fiddle.
What? No, I'm rather certain that's not how bodies work.
Oh, no, ma'am. You're thinking normal deer here. I'm something else entirely.
A third secret deer.
Drunk is what you must be.
I sure hope not. It would be a real shame if some barrel fever ruined the memory of your pretty face.
It wouldn't make much of a difference either way.
What was that, ma'am?
Cad! You are a cad! Does this look like a good time to be flirting to you?
A distant yell bounced through the columns, nearly sending Jasif's heart straight out of her chest.
Don't know about flirting, but it sure looks like a good time to get walking.
Then get up and walk! I can't just leave you to your fate now!
No, you ain't. You ain't leaving no one, ma'am. Slum dwellers like me come a door a dozen. I'll just play dead for a while and see if I could spend the night in the morgue.
More patrols were surely drawing closer by the minute, demanding she made a choice, pronto.
This doesn't end here, understood? I will make it up to you somehow, so don't you dare die until then. Promise you won't forget it.
Oh, she has a little sin in her.
Whoa, wait, hold up. Who am I supposed to look for? I didn't even catch your...
Oh, he's dead. He's so dead. Neither Adder understood why she chose to run then, but she ran. She ran before that pitiful buck lying on the ground could finish voicing his request, pretending she hadn't heard him. But the answer she didn't give to the question he couldn't ask lingered a little longer in the space between old hopes and delusions, a sight that Adder found too engrossing to realize he was being left behind. Now, the gazelle was far out of his reach, and with every step he felt her slipping away from his grasp, a little further. He tried to keep up, but his legs wouldn't respond if it wasn't to her command. He tried to breathe, but he wasn't the master of his own lungs. His sight went dark and his ears turned deaf. a violent torrent of foreign thoughts clobbering his brain as his mind dissolved back into the nether. And as suddenly as he'd left, he found himself, one-eyed, famished, and back in the tent. Indeed, this had to be him. The same gazelle was still breathing over his snout, blue eyes fixed on him with the intensity of a burning sun. But who cares about having the greatest beauty they've seen in their life all over his body? Not Adder anymore! No! A million questions filled his mind. What was the real life? Was that just fantasy? Were any more of his memories slipping through the many cracks of his flogged skull? Or had the starvation finally started to take toll upon his very brain? As was usually the case, however, his lips refused to wait for a finished script. They raced past Adder's mind, offering an answer to the only question he'd never even asked.
Sep?
This word, so short and unassuming, seemed to awaken something in a girl that Adder was almost too dazed to recognize. He couldn't tell why.
Yeah, I can talk. You know, every time I do a mistake, I'm just gonna talk in this voice. He couldn't tell yet why her ears perked up or why his gaze was immediately drawn to her horns and the beautiful mass of red rocks that she was desperately pulling behind them. This concern washed away all conceit from her expression. It took away all the mesmerizing sort of poignancy from her eyes. Yes, she looked honestly and utterly tiny for a moment. Scared.
Where did you hear that?
Where did I... Oh! Ma'am, you're okay! You're gonna think I'm crazy, but I heard you say it just now. But not now. It was a long time ago. I was under Hirup's statue. I mean, you were, but I was you and not me because I was trying to save you, but I fell on my face and those guards laughed at me and, just how the hell did I forget any of this? Why can't I remember?
You're a gaze reader.
Happy Pride Day! I also read the gaze.
I had to say it, I'm sorry. Whoopsie, I made a little woogie.
Hello, Millennial Quilava! Happy Switch 2 launch day. Mario Kart is awesome. I'm glad you're enjoying it. It's getting almost to my noon, so my lunchtime. I might be heading off soon-ish after this chapter, I guess. But yeah, no, I'm having a good time. A bit of a how to put it, a snag. So I woke up this morning hoping that my swollen arm would diminish. It did, but it's still kind of very sore is the best way to put it. So I'm playing the Hayseed Knight as kind of like the makeup part of my stream because I was supposed to draw today. Guess I'm not drawing much today. So yeah. You're 5 minutes from the end of the chapter, so all good. Perfect! Alright, actually, funnily enough, I'll be finishing the last couple hours or so of the game after this. Hell yeah!
Why didn't you say so? Get away from me!
Oh, she angry. The fire in the orb began flickering erratically, casting disturbing shadows all over the tent.
Whoa, what's going on? What in the name of Atza did I do now? Was I supposed to say something? Thank you? That's the magic word?
Do you seriously expect me to believe that you...
Hold on. Sip? It was Sip, wasn't it? Oh crap, I just went and cussed a lady out in Gazelle speak, didn't I?
She looked at him with skepticism, her eyes squinted with barely concealed anger. She was clearly sizing him up. Gonna save just in case she decides to murder my ass for no reason whatsoever.
Okay.
No. You really don't have a clue of what you just did, do you?
I misheard simp. It's very simple.
Ma'am, if I ever got a clue in my life, it wasn't today. I'm just glad you're all right and that guard is in the dungeon or dead or something.
Her expression relaxed just a little as she considered Adder's words. Our poor boy had more than enough trying to get some air into his lungs.
Then you're telling me that you're a natural gaze reader? Do you even understand what this means?
I love her voice so much, goddamn.
Do I have to say yes or no to get out of here alive?
Honestly, mood. I feel that mood so bad. Adder was pretty sure that he had made a perfectly legitimate question in regards to his survival, and this was no joking matter. But he was thankful all the same when a small chuckle erased all tension from the gazelle's face. He didn't feel any less confused about this whole ordeal, however.
Think of it this way. I tried to sneak a glance into your past through a tiny keyhole, while you just barged into mine through a door I didn't bother closing. That's on me, yes. I didn't even consider for a second I'd need to keep my guard up around you. But to casually stumble upon the basics of Cepheid, just like that, innately, it's something unheard of among the Akain.
This is what they mean by natural talent. Yeah, you have it, but man, you gotta hone it. Adrian, it's probably for the better Mario Kart is out of my reach. I always end up going super sweat mode when I play at house parties. Oh no. Pat.
Yeah?
I guess it's true what they say about Yellow Deer. You must have Barhan blood.
Adder would have normally disputed that last affirmation. Roe Deer took pride in being real deal, no gazelle blood at all. Nope, 100% deer with does that don't have horns. But this was clearly not the moment nor the company to say that.
In Sirnar, please.
You read my mind.
Say what? I think I'm not the funny one here, Missy.
The gazelle seemed way too amused with this development.
No, it makes so much sense. I was wondering why you spent so much time looking at my face. Hear me out. I'm sure you've always been really good at getting people's feelings.
Where the glasses come from?
But not smart enough to actually understand them. You're like some kind of savant hick. That's hilarious.
A wrinkle formed over Adder's snout. That was quite enough.
My name is Adder, not Hick, Miss Sepp. Now why'd you go hiding such a cute little name, I wonder?
Her face went back to being a little more than a pretension of grandeur. But she felt that she held the fire close to her. She didn't look at all that different from a child hugging her blanket, soothed by the rhythm of the bells she wore.
It's just a stupid nickname someone gave me. I hadn't heard it in years. They call me Jasif now.
Jasif. As that disgusting guard well said, that was no average name, and much less for a Barhan.
Ain't that something like Queen in Gazelle speak?
Bazaktet. And yes, that's a valid translation. Do you have any qualms about it?
Adder did not have any qualms per se, nor any remote idea that what that word meant to begin with, but he certainly had opinions on her supposed royalty. Both of these. That be like, why don't you look at my butt 24/7? She do be a queen, though. You know, let's have him be a little snarky and dig himself a deeper hole here.
I don't know what that word means, but I like Sepp better. Sepp.
Do not call me that. It's just a stupid...
Calling yourself queen is a whole lot sillier, Sepp.
Sepp's lip trembled in anger, but Adder just shrugged. That's what she got for picking on him. The redhead tensed her whole body, and when she was about to reply, she decided instead to just look away.
Are you all right?
She turned her face sharply towards his, but there was something different in the way she was looking at him.
Adder, right?
That's me.
He took a hand to his heart and bowed his head in instinctive greeting, accidentally clashing his horn against hers. He was surprised to find out that somehow that was a lot less gross than he thought it'd be. And he didn't know how to feel about this appreciation.
Didn't you want to know your future? Then listen closely.
Ooh, this art? Hello, hi? He put her mouth right next to his ear and whispered,
You're coming with me tonight.
Ma'am? Ma'am? Hello? Ma'am? Ooh.
Where?
You really are one of a kind.
Oh, she meant to... Woo! Yeah.
Come to the Desert Rose when the lights are all out. My room is on the first floor, but climbing there should be easier than climbing the bridge at the very least.
Wait, climb? Room? There you go saying weird stuff again. I'm not a thief, and I'm not a hoarding...
He's never beating the allegations. Without previous warning, the fire in the orb extinguished, leaving the room in total darkness. Adder didn't even have time to feel alarmed. He felt her hands on the back of his head, and he knew her lips next he knew, her lips were over his. Oh my, oh dear, oh shit. His mind shut up completely, much like mine.
See you later.
He couldn't even stop to consider how he felt about that before the kiss was over. With his mind still in a daze, he got up and turned around to leave. For a few moments, he stood frozen outside the tent, merely appreciating the cool dust breeze on his fur. By the time his thoughts began making any sense, he was already running at home at full speed, crying disconsolately at the realization that he was, in fact, a horn eater.
I got an achievement for that!
Alright, Save. We just got through chapter 1. Holy cow! Save. Blesh.
Kush Vanilla, I was tapped out and studying and lurking when I suddenly hear color losing it. The kiss happened.
Sorry, like I couldn't help but find her gaze so intense. I too find the gaze very intense. It only gets better from here. Oh my.
Oh boy.
But yeah, guys, go check out the Hayseed Knight. Maxie, you are amazing. This is very, very well written. I don't know if I could continue this in terms of stream just because I normally want to get my drawings done because I have a lot of things to do. But at the same time, I'm enjoying the heck out of this. Hey, not hated. How's everyone doing today? I'm just about to end stream. I'm sorry. I apologize. But yeah. Understandable. I'm looking at her respectfully. I mean, go check out Maxie. Like, right the heck now. I'm grabbing the social media. You guys need to go follow them. Check out the Hayseed Knight. It's not that expensive. Like, support furry solo devs. I'm just saying.
Here's a bisky. Here's Maxie's bisky.
This was amazing. Everything was done by Maxie, including the casting direction of all of these. Like, guys, listen to how good this is. This is so good. Amazing. All right. Let's see who we could give love to. I know it is a very important day for many, many people. And I gotta get lunch. I'm a little hungry. I'm not gonna lie. There's some meatball stew waiting for me, and I'm thinking about it, and it sounds really good. Let's see, who can we raid? There's got to be a ton of you down right now. Let's see, we got Brother Kyo can use some love. Listen, Ty's doing Mario Kart World. Oh my god, there's just so many people on right now. Oh my goodness, you're right. Everyone's streaming today. Let's see.
That's a spicy meatball. Yeah, it is.
Goddamn, just stream ended right as I joined. Aw, pat. I'm sorry. Watashi Machine. Okay, we gotta raid Watashi Machine. If you guys don't know, we haven't run into her character yet, but Watashi Machine does voice in this game. So Kemi deserves some love. Yeah. Plus, I need to finish their emotes. Please do not be angry at me. They've been waiting so patiently for like an entire year. Please understand. They deserve love. They are playing Deltarune. I'm going to assume that there might be some spoilers, so I apologize. I totally understand if you guys got a dip, but if you guys wanna go and just join in and then leave afterwards, that's totally fine. That's right, our raid call is going to be Many Furry. Thanks a lot, you guys. That's it. Abandoned raid ship. Totally understandable if you guys gotta go. Absolutely understandable. There's our raid call. Is Many Furry in all caps. Hey, Skidium, we're actually about to raid out just now. I apologize. But yeah, If you guys like what you see, feel free to follow me on my social medias. Join my Discord if you guys want to have my stream schedule. I try to keep it there because, you know, algorithms be weird whenever I post up my stream schedules there. So, rating a Deltarune stream? Sign me up. Hell yeah. And yeah, Kemi is such a cool person, so please give him love. All right, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!